newer with less than 80,000 miles on it, only Naples Nissan will pay you the full original MSRP for it. So, why have we been advertising the same offer for so many months now? Because it works. We've taken in hundreds of quality trade-ins, sold hundreds of new cars, and made hundreds of new happy customers. And you can still get full MSRP for your trade-in too. Come see us here on Pine Ridge Road and drive your brand new Nissan home today. Visit naplesnissan.com for full details. Happy holidays, Southwest Florida. Offer on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
Hey, small business owners, this is Drew Steele. Look, things have been rough this year, and we want to help. Enter the Bounce Forward Together sweepstakes presented by Comcast Business, and you can win $5,000 and a 4-week professionally produced ad schedule on 92.5 Fox News. Log on to bounceforwardtogether.com, answer a few quick questions, and you'll be entered to win. That's bounceforwardtogether.com to enter to win $5,000 for your small business. No purchase necessary. See official rules for details.
Is foot pain making your life miserable? The Good Feet store specializes in foot pain relief. Call 552-FEET or visit us at the Good Feet store in Naples or our newest location in Fort Myers. Or stop in for a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Christmas is around the corner, and the deals at the Diamond District are only beginning. Now through Christmas, visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District and save up to 50% off beautiful diamond earrings, stunning diamond rings, bracelets, necklaces, and more.
At the Diamond District.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592 is the talking text line. We stream live each and every day, right now at least, on YouTube. We'll keep it going as long as they'll let us. They're at YouTube, Drew Steele, Steele with 3 E's, in case you're wondering how you can subscribe. And also, don't forget, on Facebook, hopefully you're watching there as well. All right, a lot to tackle today. As we're getting this close, my fingers are thinly spread apart to Christmas. Hopefully you've got lots of things that you've accomplished. Jake the millennial, how are the millennials doing out there? Have you all been shopping? Have you finished all of that? Have you done anything at all as far as Christmas is concerned?
Me? Still no.
Still no. Okay, nothing. Okay, good. Well, we're going to wait till the last minute. That's no problem. I'm assuming that many millennials are waiting to the last minute when it comes to Christmas and gifts and the things that they need to get because they have their own little Santa called Amazon, right? So it'll just sooner or later it'll end up at my door, and we'll figure out how to get it there. I guess what it is. For some, the Christmas gift of the year was Attorney General Barr being out, leaving. That is it. He is done. Attorney General Barr out, set to leave before Christmas. And I wonder how you feel about that. We'll dig in a little bit to whether or not that's a good decision or a bad decision. The president was the one making that decision, and it's interesting how the media goes back and forth. Oh no, he resigned. No, he was fired. No, it was a resigning thing. It was okay. He's out. That's all you need to know. And so we're going to get to that story, and also, man. There's just so much going on, and I'm going to try to, as far as the election is concerned, and I know Joe Biden is, there he is. He's across the finish line, as we hear, with the Electoral College win, and even ripping Trump's election challenges in his little mini address there, which seemed kind of fun.
Not a joke.
It was a little, not only was it interesting, it was hard to watch. and I'll explain to you why it was hard to watch with some audio in just a second. Plus, I've been reading a lot about the Electoral College, the alternate electors that seem to be able to, because you have multiple states, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona. The Republican electors cast votes for Trump. So what does that mean? Does that mean anything at all? Does it even matter? Well, according to some, it matters a lot. It keeps the question about this election alive. So where there are people that are dancing in the streets. Hey, by the way, is there anybody dancing in the streets over Joe Biden being the president of the United States? Have we seen that? Has there been? Can you call me 239-479-5592? Can you text me 239-479-5592? Have you noticed either on TV or in your neighborhood anybody throwing a party? Well, of course you're not throwing a party because of the vid. But anybody rejoicing, partying, anybody go out on the streets and banging pots and pans and getting all excited because finally it's over and Joe Biden is the president of the United States? Has anybody witnessed that at all? Not sure. Jake, by the way, I'm just checking the call screen. I want to make sure that it's worked. So if you can hover over the call screen, that would be good so I can see that my call screen is your call screen, because my call screens have been weird lately. Ever since yesterday morning. There you go. All right, it's working. Ever since yesterday, where we had that interesting moment in time where YouTube and Google and the whole planet was like, what's going on? It's not working. Okay. So we'll get to all of that coming up. And an interesting thread that I was reading on Twitter about how this works. What is the possibility? I know there are people out there that are listening to this program saying it's about time you're over it now. It's about time you accept the fact that Joe Biden is the president of the United States elect. And he's even got a cool seal behind him that it says Office of the President-elect. That makes it official. Well, I got a cool little seal on my on my website there, on my YouTube channel and Facebook as well. You can see. I think it's pretty fancy. So I don't know that means anything, but for those that question it, let's try to break down why, and I will do that. How the issue of the electors work, and whether or not there is an avenue. And let's remember before we move on, and let me preface this because this is so important. For all of you that are out there that are watching this program, that have been listening, revisiting on YouTube, and I do appreciate it, I want you to understand something that is critical, and it's this. This isn't about that Donald Trump needs to be and continue to be the next president of the United States because Donald Trump. This isn't what you would call the cult of Trump. This is about the integrity of the election, an election that clearly was going the president's way in every way, shape, and form, and everybody knows it, and the clear and blatant fraud that was going on, the issues of the Dominion voting machines that we found out yesterday that you're going to discover, all kinds of evidence to show that something's not right here, and then some. And it's about the integrity of the vote. That's what we care about. And if the integrity of the vote means that Joe Biden is president, so be it. But also, make no mistake, if the integrity of the vote means that something went on here and it was Donald Trump's victory, we also want to understand that as well. So I'd say take it down a notch, but that's not being respectful to some of you who, by the way, on my Facebook and my emails have not exactly been respectful of me, but that's okay. So Joe Biden yesterday. Joe Biden just basically hacked his way through a press conference and letting people know that, hey, listen, it's over, everybody. He's the president of the United States. Boy, I'll tell you what, it was one presidential moment yesterday declaring victory through the Electoral College process. And boy, it was enlightening. I give to you the president-elect of the United States, everybody.
Once again, in America, the rule of law, more Americans voted this year than have ever voted in the history of the United States. The votes counted. President Pence received when they won in 2016. Excuse me. Or dispute the results. margin 4 years ago. And yet, I thank them. And I'm convinced we can work together for the good of the nation.
Yeah, there's a little small montage of Joe Biden hacking his way through this press conference and this declaration of victory yesterday. Just coughing it was hard to watch. You know those moments where you watch somebody coughing or they need to clear their throat, and in your mind, in your own throat, you're like, man, clear your throat, buddy. Come on. What's going on? So it's very odd. I will say before I move on and some of the things that he did say, Joe Biden, yesterday, which are humorous. Is it not amazing to anybody else? Maybe it's just me. Why is it that whenever a presidential candidate or a president-elect, that's sitting in an office of the president-elect because none exists, but I'm going to make it up and it's a really cool logo behind me. Why is it that those individuals seem to have some kind of reaction to Trump being around? Remember Hillary Clinton, everybody?
Every time I think about Trump, I get allergic.
Do you all remember that? Remember Hillary Clinton was trying to say she was hacking her way through a campaign as well. I don't know if anybody... It was really strange.
I am sick and tired.
All right, easy. Listen, you're still in the news. We can't help it. Yeah, she was coughing and hacking her way through the 2016 campaign. It was an ugly mess. By the way, speaking of an ugly mess, Hillary Clinton, she voted for Biden. She went and told everybody as a New York State elector, hey, I voted for Joe Biden for president of the United States. And then right after that says that the Electoral College has to be abolished. All right, good stuff. So Hillary's on board with getting rid of the Electoral College. But, of course, she was an elector. You know, if you had any respect for the process or disrespect for the process, maybe you shouldn't have been an elector, Hillary. I'm just throwing that out there. Just asking. You know, it's a...
Every time I think about Trump, I get allergic.
Yeah. Okay. Really strange. But... what about what Joe Biden said? Let's get into some of the details of Joe Biden's, the rest of what he was talking about. Wonder how much of this you agree with.
That's the duty owed to the people, to our Constitution, to our history.
Yeah, go ahead. What's that?
You know, in this battle for the soul of America, democracy prevailed. We, the people, voted. Faith in our institutions held.
They did? So Joe Biden thinks that faith in the institutions held, and we voted. We're still dealing with the fact that we don't have faith in the institutions. We're still having dealing with the fact that there are issues out there. Nobody likes to say it. Nobody wants to say that we have no faith in the institutions. Nobody feels good about it. But the facts are the facts. The evidence is clear. And especially when we're looking at the history of scandals of the Democrats and what they've done in the past.
The Uranium One scandal.
The IRS targeting scandal.
The Clinton Foundation. Fusion GPS dossier.
Benghazi. Hillary Clinton email case.
Sergeant Bo Bergdahl. Remember him?
Yeah, there's a lot there. There's a lot there. And then, of course, you know, the weaponizing of the federal government to go after an American citizen, that American citizen being Donald Trump, and the evidence is clear that is out there that is not disputable. Unless, of course, it's the media and those that want to protect. All right, so go ahead.
The integrity of our elections remains intact.
Yeah. Half the country doesn't believe that. Actually, more than half the country doesn't believe that.
And now it's time to turn the page, as we've done throughout our history, to unite, to heal.
My goodness, could you just get him a glass of water, somebody?
As I said in this campaign, I will be president for all Americans. I'll work just as hard for those of you who didn't vote for me as I will for those who did.
Yeah, that's not true. It's not true. We know that. So right out of the gate, you know, that's a hard one to believe. because I'm pretty confident all the people that he's bringing in really are against the things that I believe. And you're not going to be working for what I believe. I got it. Okay.
There's urgent work in front of us. Getting this pandemic under control and getting the nation vaccinated against this virus.
I got to tell you, the thing you need to get under control is that cough. A lozenge. I don't know. What's a good lozenge that somebody can give Joe Biden? I mean, his wife's a doctor. You think she would have a lozenge in her purse or something? She would have something to help him out right away, you'd imagine. Yeah. That's what doctors do, right? Doctors have medicine in their purses and give the Heimlich or 239-479-5592. I don't know. I'm asking for a friend. What do I know? So Joe Biden yesterday is now being told that he is officially the president-elect because the Electoral College win. But was there really a victory yesterday? Well, when we come back, let's do this. Let's talk about what happened yesterday. Why people are talking about the Republican electors in 4 states casting their procedural votes for the president and vice president, and why that could have consequences in the next days and weeks to come. That maybe it keeps certain issues alive so that, I don't know, we don't wait until after the election. Trust me when I tell you. Go ahead and you can kick the music, Jake. We go to break. But here's what I would say you can make no mistake about. I guarantee you, and if you want to write down this time and this moment in time and you want to just bookmark this, trust me when I tell you. After the election, if Joe Biden becomes president of the United States, it's February 1st, March 1st, whatever it is, I guarantee you there will be things that will come out and people will be held accountable about the election integrity and how there were problems and with the machines and with individuals. And, oh, yeah, they'll hold people accountable. But it'll be like, hey, it's too late now. We're not putting Trump back in office. So, hey, we did our job. We got the people that were responsible, and we took care of it for you, okay? So now calm down. Trust me, that's what's going to happen. All right, we'll get to your calls coming up. It's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. Right all along with traffic, here's Sabrina Katz.
Traffic slowing in Lehigh Acres on Leonard, heading east of Ray Avenue towards Gunnery Road. Also delays building on Daniels Parkway just near I-75 if you're heading west. And we're slow on Davis Road, north and south between Iona and McGregor Boulevard. But a very nice commute over both bridges heading into the beach right now. If you're heading over the Sanibel Causeway, just a 2-minute commute gets you from McGregor to Periwinkle Way. Also, we're up to speed on the Matanzas Pass Bridge heading into Fort Myers Beach. The trip to the minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Monday morning, we're going to be waking up to some patchy fog, then just a few spotty showers for this afternoon and this evening. High temperature for today, 81 degrees. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
This Fox News Business Report is presented by Big Island Builders, whose reputation for quality homes at a fair price is unsurpassed in Naples.
At home with Robert, retired burglar and family man.
Carolers! That's the holiday spirit. Speaking of which, SimpliSafe Home Security is having a huge holiday sale. Right now, you can get 35% off a new system and a free camera at simplisafe.com/holiday. That's 35% off the system U.S. News named the best of 2020. SimpliSafe protects your whole home 24/7 with monitoring by professionals. The sale ends soon, so go to simplisafe.com/holiday for 35% off and a free camera today.
Drive the lefties at work crazy with the facts. Get up to speed mornings with Drew Steve.
92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Keith, the owner of Storm Shield Windows and Doors in North Fort Myers. And when it comes to hurricane windows and doors, you have 2 choices, Storm Shield and all the rest. Here's what our client Lauren had to say.
Our windows made a difference in terms of how our house looked. So it looked 30 years old with our old windows. And now that we have our new Storm Shield windows, they look totally different. Our coastal look is coming along. We definitely have other projects to do, but the look alone of these windows has definitely improved our house. We have more energy efficient windows than we had before. It's quiet, and we definitely know in the event of a storm that we're safe and secure.
Storm Shield windows and doors reduce the exterior noise by up to 80%, and our clients typically see an average energy savings of 40%. Why choose Storm Shield? Because everyone deserves the best. Call us today at 239-491-7002 or visit stormshieldSWFL.com.
And now a word from Dr. Johnston at 596-BACK.
Across the country, there has been a major increase in the number of back and neck pain cases. Most researchers attribute it to a decrease in the amount of activity people have been getting. This leads to pinched or compressed spinal nerves. These same nerves go down into people's legs and arms. I've especially noticed this among those with stenosis, arthritis, or bulging herniated discs. This pain, weakness, or numbness should not be ignored. Action needs to be taken. If you suffer from one of these conditions, or even scoliosis or neuropathy, it's important to get your condition correctly diagnosed and treated. At Johnston Spinal Care, we treat these conditions non-surgically, without needles or medications, using spinal decompression, completely safe and painless. Call today for a no-charge telephone consultation or MRI review. Johnston Spinal Care. We're here for you. Call 596-BACK, 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
I just had my checkup, and my doctor could tell I've been eating healthier. But sometimes I have a hard time covering the cost of food. Luckily, my Humana Medicare Advantage dual-eligible special needs plan offers me a healthy foods card to help me pay for food at certain stores. If you have Medicare and Medicaid, you may get $25 to spend on approved groceries. You just swipe it like a credit card. My Humana Medicare plan also covers a lot more, such as medications, dental, eyeglasses, doctor visits, and hospital stays. Do what I did. Talk to Humana.
Talk to a Humana licensed sales agent now by calling toll-free 1-844-706-0557. Humana is a coordinated care plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Florida Medicaid program. Enrollment in this Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Sponsored by Humana Medical Plan, Inc. and the State of Florida Agency for Healthcare Administration. Plans may not be available in all areas. Benefits may vary by plan. Call to learn what plans are available in your area.
When everything around us has been interrupted, including playtime, work time, and downtime, friends and family are always there to help pick up the pieces. At Castilla Roofing, we are here for our community, our employees, and you. Keeping a roof over your head is our job, our headache, and our promise to you. Castilla Roofing, family owned and operated. Your satisfaction is our reputation.
Go to CastillaRoofing.us, that's CASTILLA, or call 239-465-2646. License CCC 1328615.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
First there was plain, then peanut, and then caramel and fudge brownie. And now, Pfizer and M&M's introduced the newest flavor of M&M's. It's M&M's with COVID vaccine.
No.
Pfizer is infusing 30 micrograms of nucleoside mod RNA and encoding the viral spike glycoprotein with milk chocolate in every button shape.
No, I'm not doing it. No, M&M's with COVID vaccine. No, we're not doing that. We're just not. All right, let's go to the
M&Ms.
No, we're not. No, I love M&Ms. We're not doing that. Nobody's doing that. It's not real. It's not happening yet. Okay. 239-479-5592. Quickly, let's go to Susan in Cape Coral. Susan wanted to talk about Joe Biden and his coughing fit.
Good morning, Drew.
Hi.
Yes, I believe that's the preliminary to the sickness he will get, so Kamala can just slide right in.
Oh, gosh.
I think they don't even want him to be in office for an hour.
So you think that this is the prelude? Like they're starting to hear that he's got the cough, and it's like all of a sudden it's like the two of them are walking towards a staircase, and she's like, Joe, I got to talk to you for a second. No, that's not. No. You think? No. You think? No.
I think that. I do.
Oh,
I
goodness.
Really do.
Well, we wouldn't... thanks for the call, Susan. There in Cape Coral. Look, we don't wish that on anybody. Okay, we don't wish for the untimely demise of anyone. All right, let's not. Goodness, with the cough and the confusion and Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
You got that right.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
Hey, it's Drew Steele talking to my good friend Dave Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters. And I love talking to Dave because when I talk to Dave, I know that that means he has something special for you. In this case, like I have in my home, Core Tech is absolutely amazing, Dave. And I got to tell you, I love it. My wife loves it. And boy, you've got a lot of Core Tech right now in stock.
Yes, we do. And we've got about 6 or 7 truckloads coming to beat the tariff increase. And we're going to guarantee a freeze of the prices on all our in-stock Core-Tech. We're not going to go up 50 cents a square foot, and we're going to save it for our customers.
And so when it comes to Core-Tech, I mean, it is just amazing the selection that you have. And not only that, the installation is incredible. What you do there is fantastic.
Yes, and we stock 100 colors of Core-Tech.
Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco. So give them a call today at 239-596-4964 or on the web at floormeisters.com.
When you're looking for a career change, what's important to you? Health insurance, dental, vision, wages, working conditions, paid time off, or an opportunity for growth? My Shower Door offers all of these, plus more. For the past 5 years, My Shower Door has continued to grow throughout Florida, and this growth requires top candidates. If you or someone you know is interested in making a career change, apply at myshowerdoor.com/careers and take that first step towards your new career path.
Hey, small business owners, this is Drew Steele. Look, things have been rough this year, and we want to help. Enter the Bounce Forward Together sweepstakes presented by Comcast Business, and you can win $5,000 and a 4-week professionally produced ad schedule on 92.5 Fox News. Log on to bounceforwardtogether.com, answer a few quick questions, and you'll be entered to win. That's bounceforwardtogether.com to enter to win $5,000 for your small business. No purchase necessary. See official rules for details.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana. Galliana Kia.
Year-end sales event at Galliana Kia in Fort Myers. Everything goes, nothing held back. 2021 Kia Forte LXS lease, just $99 per month. That's right, a new Kia Forte for $99 per month. 2021 Kia Sportage LX lease, $149 per month. Yes, a new Kia Sportage SUV for $149 per month. Select models with interest-free financing for 75 months. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. At Galliana Kia in Fort Myers, if you've got $500 down and you make at least $2,000 per month, our lenders can get you approved. Galliana Kia, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana. Galliana Kia.
36-month lease is 10,000 miles per year. $34.99 due at signing plus tax, tech, title, dealer, and acquisition fee. 0 security deposit with lender approval. $13.33 per month per thousand borrowed for 75 months at 0 APR with 0 down. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. With the ballots now cast, Joe Biden wins the Electoral College vote 306 to 232. It's the same margin President Trump won by in 2016. And the president-elect says it's time to come together as Americans.
At the time, President Trump called the Electoral College tally a landslide. By his own standards, these numbers represented a clear victory then, and I respectfully suggest they do so now.
Russian President Vladimir Putin's now joining other world leaders congratulating him on his victory. The Attorney General William Barr announces his resignation effective a week from tomorrow. Fox's John Decker at the White House.
The president has been openly feuding with Barr after he concluded that the Department of Justice has not seen fraud on a scale that could have affected a different outcome in the presidential election.
The president on Twitter says Barr has done an outstanding job. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. An 86-year-old woman is dead after a golf cart crash on US 41 in North Fort Myers. Troopers say the golf cart drove into the path of another vehicle. FHP says the driver in the car was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. A dog was also in the golf cart. Troopers don't believe that dog was hurt. Many of you are under a boil water notice this morning. It's for a large area of Fort Myers affecting Treeline Avenue from Colonial to Daniels. 6 Mile from Colonial to Penzance, and the Forum from MLK to Colonial. A 24-inch water main broke near I-75 Monday morning. A health alert for South Seas Plantation Beach access on Captiva no longer active this morning. FWC says red tide is no longer present there, or it's at an extremely low level. Terrell Middleton is expected to be in court today. Fort Myers police say he was with a Travis Stanberry picking up marijuana at the Retreat at Vista Lakes apartment complex late last month when Stanberry shot someone in the neck. Their car crashed into a building. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
Traffic slowing in Lehigh Acres on Leonard, heading east of Ray Avenue towards Gunnery Road. Also delays building on Daniels Parkway just near I-75 if you're heading west. And we're slow on Davis Road, north and south between Iona and McGregor Boulevard. But a very nice commute over both bridges heading into the beach right now. If you're heading over the Sanibel Causeway, just a 2-minute commute gets you from McGregor to Periwinkle Way. Also, we're up to speed on the Matanzas Pass Bridge heading into Fort Myers Beach. The Trip to the Minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For your Tuesday, we're going to be starting with some patchy fog that eventually wraps up. We'll see a combination of clouds and sunshine, 78 degrees for the high temperature. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Get more than what the internet tells you. Get up to speed on The Drive with Trey Radel. Weekdays 5 to 7. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All over.
At Health Plan Network can help. Tim has helped countless individuals and families here in the Fort Myers area save 30 to 60% on health insurance with super coverage. Tim recently saved a family of 4 $800 a month on their health insurance with a lower deductible. If you're uninsured, recently lost your job, on COBRA, or paying extreme rates for Obamacare or your work coverage, Tim will help you understand your options. If you meet the flexible guidelines for coverage, Health Plan Network will provide you the best coverage at the lowest rate. Their goal is to give you peace of mind and the utmost in healthcare. Go to healthplannetwork.net and see for yourself, or better yet, call Tim, an expert with 23 years experience at 239-268-6712. That's 239-268-6712. Go to healthplannetwork.net. That's healthplannetwork.net. A premium personalized plan managed and designed by you, not the government.
Hi, this is John Lawrence with CGU Homes, residential contractor in Southwest Florida. As a Naples native, my childhood is full of memories, from fishing the backwaters of the Everglades to helping my dad with home improvement projects. Today, I have the pleasure of watching my kids grow up, enjoying the same way of life. At CGU Homes, we understand building a home is more than drawings and budgets. It's about building lifelong memories for you and your family. I've been in the residential construction industry for over 20 years and have had the luxury of handpicking my team. When it comes to my team, I look for passion, innovation, and trustworthiness. You can trust CGU Homes to build with honesty and transparency through every step of the building process. So when you're ready to start a new chapter for your family, whether it's remodeling your existing home or building a brand new one, I invite you to see some of our past projects and learn more about us at cguhomes.com. That's cguhomes.com. And God bless the USA.
Pool need a checkup? Call the doctor, the Pool Doctor.
Hi, Dr. Mark here. Is your pool a pain to operate? Automation is the answer. Use your phone to turn on your spa and it'll be warm when you get home. Free on-site evaluations. We're a family company. And for over 40 years, we've been doing business right.
The prescription is the Pool Doctor for award-winning pool service, repairs, and unheard of $39 diagnostic calls. That's mypooldoctor.com or 239-574-1133. State certified CPC 057088.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steve.
He's gonna whip you with that tail, dude.
Oh my God! Do you know what that was, Jake? Do you have any ideas? I guess, was this here? This was on Sanibel? So a kid's playing golf. I mean, not a kid, but a guy's playing golf. And the ball hit, and he hit the ball and it landed on the tail of an alligator. So, I mean, there's video of it. You can see it. I mean, it's real. So he creeps up behind it and he grabs the ball off the tail of the alligator. And then, as you heard there, the alligator just splashes into it and he runs off. And his buddy's like, oh, you're crazy. I didn't hear about that. But it was here. I mean, in Southwest Florida. I guess it happened out on Sanibel, or I don't know. But did anybody know about this? But I just watched the video, and it's about as real as it gets. But it seems so crazy that a guy could hit a golf ball, and it lands right on the tail of the alligator. I mean, it's very 2020. It's almost as 2020. If it would be like if you were if you had your Christmas tree up and all of a sudden you realize there's like a raccoon in the tree or something. That would be kind of crazy. That would be so 2020.
See if there's some furry body inside the Christmas tree. No, it's not a cat. What is that? Is that a squirrel? Oh, it's a raccoon. No, don't do it!
Yeah, that happened too. Did you hear about that? So there's a woman. Where was she? It was in Tallahassee. The dog is like growling at the Christmas tree, and she can't figure out what it is. And she comes to find out there's a raccoon that's in the tree. I guess it came through the dog door. It's what else could happen in 2020? What else could possibly happen in 2020 that would be like just the most? I mean, we're done, right? That's it. We don't have to deal with the. No, there's more. Oh man, there's more. I gotta wait till later for this. Guess there's a new national anthem coming our way. The Black National Anthem. It was sung yesterday in Michigan while they were the electors were getting together to figure out whether or not Joe Biden's going to be the cough master in chief. Or anyway, so we're going to get to that audio coming up. But I know that I promised I would do this, and I think it's important because there are people that are texting that I'm looking at on my YouTube channel. At Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. You could subscribe to the channel. Why not? While we're still there, on Facebook, where people are like, oh, hold on a second. What in the world happened with the electors, right? 4 states that decided that they were going to cast procedural votes. Republicans were going to do this for the president and vice president, Trump and Pence. And you got Pennsylvania, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona. They're voting for Trump. Even though formally the states appointed Democratic electors, and they all voted for Biden and Harris. In Michigan, 2 separate slates of electors were cast, 16 for Trump and 16 for Biden. So you have all of these different things that are happening. You've got Michigan splitting their slate of electors, which, by the way, I've got to try to find the audio. And I don't know if you heard about it, but yeah, it was interesting to watch the video of the Republican electors trying to make their way into the Capitol. And there were Capitol police there that were like, yeah, you're not allowed in. We can't have you in. What? How do you deny us? We're electors. We're allowed to be here. And the officer is there and saying, nope, they're already inside. Sorry about that. I guess it was confusion because ultimately they got in. But having said that, there are people that are saying, well, what does this mean? I mean, what difference does it make? In Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, they cast a conditional vote for Trump and Pence. They said that they were looking at the 1960 presidential election between Richard Nixon and John F. Kennedy, who would eventually become the winner. Same thing was done in Nevada, the state's Republican electors casting their vote for Trump and Pence. Making history, Arizona Republican presidential electors also voted for Trump and Pence. Okay, so let's try to make sense of this. And then as I was looking at a couple of different feeds on Twitter and people that I do trust, were trying to make the case as to how this would work. And let's see if we can go through the process and figure this out. So after the states, and this is the Epoch Times has this article talking about this specifically, and like they say, after states have completed their vote counts and gathered the official results, the U.S. Code 3 U.S.C. Section 6 requires the state governors to prepare as soon as practicable documents known as certificates of ascertainment of the vote. Certificates must list the names of the electors chosen by the voters and the number of votes received in the popular election results. Also, the names of all losing candidates for elector and the number of votes they received, according to the Congressional Research Service. So what does all of this mean? Does it make any sense? Like, how do you do this? If you have competing electors, how does it work? Even White House advisor Stephen Miller was talking on Fox that alternative groups of electors were being chosen in several states, which is exactly what happened. And that would lead to the re-election of the president. And that the only date that there is to worry about is January 20th. That's the one in the Constitution. Everything else is something that is federally mandated, but the Constitution is where we look. And so his claim is that there's more than enough time to right the wrong of this election being fraudulent and to certify Trump as the winner. So is that possible now? All right, so let's try to go through the process of how there are those that feel like this is how it's going to get done. Now, before I start to read this, let's remember something that's critical. Clearly, the Supreme Court doesn't want to deal with this. Clearly, there are judges and justices that don't want any part of this. Clearly, one of the things that we constantly see lately is that not only are there people without spines to protect the Constitution, because they live in fear. Can't even imagine what kind of doxing, can't imagine what kind of messages, can't imagine what kind of threats are out there with legislators, judges, and justices to do the right thing, or actually to do the wrong thing. That if you don't continue to do the wrong thing, there will be consequences. Not what a constitutional republic is all about. But how does this play out? All right, so here's a thread that I was reading yesterday that I think probably makes the case, and at least it spells out the process. So, and there are a couple of people that have done this. So in 1960, what happened was the election, in the 60 election between Nixon and John F. Kennedy, the governor issued a certificate to the Republican slate of electors while there was an ongoing controversy about the vote. And so what ended up happening was the Democrat electors they cast their vote for Kennedy, right? So imagine it's the opposite now, right? So where Republicans voted for Trump, imagine Hawaii in 1960, it's the opposite. Democrat electors cast their votes for Kennedy. So the Democrat electors cast their votes, just like Republicans just did now. The recount revealed that Kennedy had in fact won, but electors for Nixon had already been certified. You see, you're following this now? So the first set of Nixon electors sent a certificate. The Democratic electors also sent one without certification for Kennedy. And the governor of Hawaii sent a certificate for Kennedy. The third certificate by the governor was sent no earlier than December 30th. Mind you, keep an eye on the dates here, right? December 30th, this all took place 1960. Look at the calendar and see where we are now. The VP of the Senate, who was Nixon at the time, said it was the governor's electors that should prevail. There's no disagreement, and that's how Kennedy received Hawaii's Electoral College votes. And the thoughts of many right now is that with the legislatures in Arizona, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Michigan sending their own certificate, if they were to do that, the GOP would tell the Republican electors in each of the states to meet and send and certify. So that's what the process would look like. If you're looking at the 1960 example, which part of that is done, right? So then it goes like this. Why can electors be certified on December 30th, but not on January 1st? Which is an interesting case because you're looking at the legislatures being together, whether they're together or not. So January 6th seems to be the day that the Trump team is looking at as a significant date. And it was even Ruth Bader Ginsburg that they quoted back in on the 8th of December about the safe harbor deadline. It's a statutory timeline. It denotes the last day for states to certify election results, but it's not unprecedented for election contests to last well beyond December 8th. I mean, I know where we are right now, but this is what the Trump legal team was talking about, the safe harbor deadlines. And that Justice Ginsburg recognized in Bush v. Gore that the date of ultimate significance is January 6th, when Congress counts and certifies the votes of the Electoral College. The only fixed date in the Constitution is the 20th. So that's what they're looking at now. All right, you're following along now that in 1960, slate of electors were separated. The governor's choice was the one that was the decision that certified the vote, which is the electors, which is what happens. And in Hawaii, that happened to be Kennedy that got Kennedy across the finish line. Even Ruth Bader Ginsburg was saying that in Bush v. Gore, there is no ultimate significance of specific dates because January 20th is the date that matters. Okay, follow along. So January 1st is a date of significance because if the electors can be certified on the 1st, it solves one of the biggest hurdles to the state legislature solution, which is that most are out of session and disbanded because the legislative year is expired. But usually they come back on the 1st, and most do. So you get them back in session on January 1st. You got a new legislature that is sworn in. And typically in places like Pennsylvania and Michigan and Georgia, that's the date that they seem to get back. And there's a lot that can happen between now and that date of a new legislature coming in. So that is part of the thinking. And there's a little more to it that I can explain, and I'm looking at the time and making sure that there is enough. But it was the Epoch Times who explained that approving the set of electors would require a majority in both chambers. And the balance of power in the Senate will be determined by the results of the runoff elections. This is why the runoff elections in Georgia is so important. If the Democrats win both seats, a 50-50 tie in the Senate would hand the tiebreaker vote to the vice president. If lawmakers can't agree on a set of electors, the country will find itself in uncharted territory. And what ends up happening is that through these split and the electors, the concern is that, or the bet is that it could go to Congress. And both houses will have choices to make. And you know how the House is going to go, and we kind of assume how the Senate's going to go. If there is a split, if there is a competing slate of electors come January 6th, when they are scheduled to count the votes, and there is a split, that there is a possibility that if there's some kind of tie, the tiebreaker would be the vice president. Do you see where we're going here? So in other words, if you're looking at the Hail Mary, if you're looking at the last minute, if you're looking at there's still a chance, if there's still hope, I'm assuming that this is what the Trump legal team is looking at with the slate of electors and the split between them and how this could possibly play out. And we will see. But having said that, if there is anyone out there who believes that comfortably Joe Biden, president-elect, more votes for this individual than ever in the history of mankind, and it's clear because I think he had like 4,000 people on his C-SPAN stream. I mean, that's the for his announcement yesterday, and that seems like someone who is clearly one of the biggest deals in politics ever. Can we take a moment and just contemplate that Joe Biden is trying to make the case that we're supposed to believe that Joe Biden is the biggest thing in politics ever, according to the numbers that I just can't. I can't do it.
We choose truth over facts.
I know, and I think Hillary said it best when she said, what?
Every time I think about Trump, I get allergic.
Yeah, seems like so does Joe Biden after that hack fest yesterday. All right, 239-479-5592. Hopefully that makes sense. It made sense. If it didn't, I'll try to break it down a little more later in the program. We've got Steve Deace is going to join us. He's got a brand new book out. We're going to talk about it at 8 o'clock, and we'll get into this as well. Coming up in about 10 more minutes. This is going to be interesting. we are going to talk about Georgia. What's going on there? I mean, let's remember, everybody, that January 5th is an important date as well. There's an election in Georgia, but how's it going? How are we doing here? What are the things that are going on in Georgia that we need to keep an eye on? All right, so we're going to have a conversation about that, and we will talk to a guest from the Heritage Foundation who's going to join us, Jessica Anderson, and she has all the details on what's happening in Georgia. Got to keep an eye on that. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along. Traffic.
The crash at Lee Boulevard and Sunshine is still slowing traffic. This continues heading westbound on Lee Boulevard, southbound delays on Sunshine with reports of roadblock at the intersection. So if you can avoid it, that's the best thing to do. But 23rd is your other option. It's also slow if you're heading west to Gunnery Road. Now, if you're in Fort Myers, traffic slowing on Colonial Boulevard near I-75. Not a major backup, just that morning rush beginning, as well as southbound delays on Forum heading to Colonial. I-75 is still a breeze right now if you're heading to and from Lee and Collier. However, really seeing that fog on Alligator Alley, limited visibility. Make sure to watch that following distance. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Rush Limbaugh. A middle school teacher in Atlanta out of a job because what happened in the classroom didn't stay in the classroom. There was cell phone video, and it was obtained by local TV. On video, Spanish teacher Berkeley Davenport described a guy's first kiss. When you're in love the first time, that first kiss, oh, there's nothing like it. You touch her hair and the back of her neck, and you pull her close, and then you start to go for the other parts. Well, when school officials saw the first kiss lesson on Action Eyeball News, they took action. We don't know what triggered them most. Was it the going for the other parts, that the kiss was heterosexual, that the Spanish class was in English, all of the above? In any event, Dr. Davenport was out. Totally appropriate. But still, I have a question. Haven't these same school officials forced sex education on these kids since kindergarten? But hearing about a first kiss was too much? Really? After how to deploy a condom on cucumbers is part of the curriculum?
Hiring can be challenging, but ZipRecruiter makes it fast and easy. We talked to Monica Starks, who needed to hire for a pivotal role at her company, GS Group.
As the owner of a construction company, finding the right people is a very difficult task. So I use ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology identifies the right people for your job and actively invites them to apply, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Monica did, and that's how she found Lamont, her new project superintendent.
The job is so perfect for me. I had a career breakthrough. I would have never found this job if it wasn't for ZipRecruiter.
With ZipRecruiter, we've hired everyone from accountants to project managers to field scientists. With ZipRecruiter, we get hiring results.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Tougher than plastic, harder than wood. Nothing beats the power of steel. Drew Steel, weekday mornings at 6 on 92.5 Fox News.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
Dan Martineau here, owner of D.R. Martineau Roofing of Southwest Florida. I've been repairing and replacing roofs for 27 years. We operate with integrity, knowledge, and service. Google DRM Roofing or call 239-332-1441.
License number CCC 1326954.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
True relief for back and neck pain. Here at Johnson Spinal Care 596 Back, we focus on back and neck related conditions like stenosis, sciatica, neuropathy, and bulging discs that can cause weakness, numbness, or pain. Being an innovator in non-surgical techniques, I have developed unique and extremely effective spinal decompression protocols for overcoming these chronic and debilitating conditions that don't involve any medications or surgery. This 3-step VAX-D spinal decompression approach uses a patented computerized table that decompresses the spine to gently remove pressure off pinched nerves and increase blood circulation to the area. For young or old, and so comfortable that most patients almost fall asleep while on the table. No hanging upside down. With this award-winning technology, back and neck pain can be a thing of the past. We always offer a no-obligation consultation and free x-rays to see if you're a candidate. Johnston Spinal Care. We're here for you. Call 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
Has the little blue pill let you down? Our expert medical staff at mymensclinic.com can and will help. Guys, if you're suffering from ED, we can fix it. Even if you have tried Viagra and other drugs and they've failed you, we will help. Studies have shown that we offer the most effective non-surgical treatments for ED, even if you have other medical conditions. They're generally no problem. We know that hearing "we can try again next weekend" is tough. When what you want to hear is wow. We at mymensclinic.com have helped thousands of men just like you, thousands more nationally. We can make one simple guarantee, and we do. See our licensed medical staff. If we can't show you positive results during that first appointment, that appointment is free. Guys, let's get the wow back in the bedroom. Guys, let's book online at mymensclinic.com or call 239-307-0125. That's 239-307-0125. Again, mymensclinic.com.
Sometimes you want to get things done fast. There's a lot of things in your life you would like to happen in a hurry. How about getting that water that's coming out of your faucet fixed? You know, have great tasting water instead of water that tastes bad like chlorine or chemicals. You thought about what it's doing to your skin or hair? Well, you hear me talk about Pelican Water, Pelican now Pentair Water Solutions. You can take care of your home's water today by calling Max. Make the call. Thousands of people already have done this. Make the call today. You're going to love the way your water tastes from every faucet with your new Pentair water treatment system. And there's a big difference when it comes to Pentair water specialists, trained, Pentair certified, uniform, local experts like Max. He's awesome. They use state-of-the-art Pentair water tests, so you can see what's in your water right there on the spot. The mobile showroom, you'll have a wider range of options to see in front of you, and they can maintain your system for you with their white glove service. Look, get it done now. Get it done fast. Call now for your free Pentair water test and save 15% on your whole home water system. Here's the number, 239-880-7799. That's 239-880-7799, or book online at PelicanWestFL.com.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. An 86-year-old woman is dead after a golf cart crash on US 41 in North Fort Myers. Troopers say the golf cart drove into the path of another vehicle. FHP says the driver in the car was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. A dog was also in the golf cart. Troopers don't believe that dog was hurt. 100,000 doses of the coronavirus vaccine for 5 Florida hospitals delivered this morning. 60,000 more will head to CBS and Walgreens for long-term care facilities. Lee Health says they expect to get the vaccine next week. They'll give it to staff in the emergency department, COVID units, and the ICU first. NCH and Fawcett Memorial say they're still waiting to hear when they will receive the vaccine. NCH healthcare system is limiting visitation hours. In general and critical care units, visiting hours are now from noon to 6 p.m. All visitors must complete a screening process, and a face mask is also required. Terrell Middleton is expected to be in court today. Fort Myers police say he was with a Travis Stanberry picking up marijuana at the retreat at Vista Lakes apartment complex late last month when Stanberry shot someone in the neck. Their car crashed into a building. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News Traffic.
The crash at Lee Boulevard in Sunshine is still slowing traffic. This continues heading westbound on Lee Boulevard, southbound delays on Sunshine with reports of roadblock at the intersection. So if you can avoid it, that's the best thing to do. But 23rd is your other option. It's also slow if you're heading west to Gunnery Road. Now, if you're in Fort Myers, traffic slowing on Colonial Boulevard near I-75. Not a major backup, just that morning rush beginning, as well as southbound delays on Forum heading to Colonial. I-75 is still a breeze right now if you're heading to and from Lee and Collier. However, really seeing that fog on Alligator Alley, limited visibility. Make sure to watch that following distance. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For your Tuesday, we're going to be starting with some patchy fog that eventually wraps up. We'll see a combination of clouds and sunshine, 78 degrees for the high temperature. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Drew Steele in the morning and Trey Radel in the afternoon. 2 doses of what cures liberalism. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Hey, small business owners, this is Drew Steele. Look, things have been rough this year, and we want to help. Enter the Bounce Forward Together sweepstakes presented by Comcast Business, and you can win $5,000 and a 4-week professionally produced ad schedule on 92.5 Fox News. Log on to bounceforwardtogether.com, answer a few quick questions, and you'll be entered to win. That's bounceforwardtogether.com to enter to win $5,000 for your small business. No purchase necessary. See official rules for details.
Dial star 2020. Friends, I care.
Trey Radel, your host of The Drive here. I was blind. I literally would have to hold a paper or my phone about 4 inches from my face to be able to see. But I went to Dr. France and his team, and they helped me with LASIK. It was and is life-changing. But listen to this. They have something new now. It's called the SMILE procedure. It is the latest technology in laser vision correction. It's a lot like LASIK, but with a smaller incision and no flap. So it's minimally invasive, and it has a lower incidence of dry eye syndrome. It is perfect for individuals with active lifestyles. Dr. France and his team are the expert surgeons here in Southwest Florida with the first practice here with this state-of-the-art laser vision correction again called SMILE. So schedule your free SMILE laser vision correction screening at France Eye Care and do it by this. Just dial star 2020 from your mobile phone. Financing is available. Give them a call today.
Friends, I care.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. I am so glad you're here. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. We stream live on YouTube as long as they'll allow us to. Anytime you want to watch at Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's, please subscribe. You could also watch on Facebook as well, and as long as they let us. You know how tech is. They get finicky. You know that kind of thing. It's a little more involved with that, but we do what we do. All right. Coming up, we'll talk more about the states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and others that have sent competing electors and what that means, and kind of an explanation, try to give you better details on if there's anything there. Excuse me for continuing to clear my throat. I feel like Joe Biden last night. It's one of those things where you just don't...
Not a joke.
Not a joke. Everybody's clearing their throats today. Let's hope that Jessica Anderson is not... clearing her throat this morning, but I know that she is busy, executive director at Heritage Action. She's joining us right now because I wanted to talk about what's happening with the Georgia runoff election and get some of the details and the lowdown. It's Drew Steele. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm so glad that you had a couple of minutes to join us today because, boy, do I have some questions. First of all, you've been keeping an eye on Georgia, and with everything that has been happening, Jessica, and I'm sure you're going through this as well. There are people that are following Election Day and nationally what happened, and certainly we're concerned about the Dominion voting machines, and we're concerned about the competing electors, and we're concerned about the presidential election. But then we seem to forget sometimes that January 5th is a pretty important date. First of all, explain to everybody, in case they don't realize it, how important January 5th is.
Well, you're right, Drew. We kind of have a split screen going on right now in the country. But January 5th is significant for the state of Georgia because that is the day that hopefully only legal Georgia voters will vote in the state's 2 Senate runoffs. We've got Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue both facing challengers from the left for these 2 Senate seats. And it's a significant race because the results of these 2 Senate runoffs will determine the makeup of the United States Senate, so the majority. Will conservatives hold it, or will it go to liberals and be run by Chuck Schumer for the next 6+ years? So everyone's eyes are on Georgia, and certainly this January 5th cutoff date of the election.
Right. Now, you can imagine I'm already looking at the text line here at the station, 239-479-5592. And already you haven't even begun to get into the details yet. And already I'm getting a bunch of texts, and I can tell, and you could probably imagine what they are. Jessica, how are we going to ensure the legal vote count? How do we ensure, when we have Stacey Abrams bragging about the amount of mail-in ballots she has available, when we have Dominion voting machine questions and whether or not they've been resolved in the state, how do we know?
Well, this is a huge problem, and it's one that, as I was down the last week talking with voters in our door-to-door effort, it came up a lot. Voters are frustrated. They have the right to be. They're concerned about whether or not their vote is going to count. And really, there's 2 answers to this right now for Georgia. One, this election is happening, period. And the impact of it, as I said, is really significant in determining the future of the Senate. So we know that voters, they have to vote. And the sense I get on the ground is that many Georgia conservatives realize they have to vote so much that they have to beat back the fraud. And so turnout really becomes key. But the second point to that, which I think is the most important, which is we have to have more nonpartisan, freedom-loving, Constitution-loving Americans as the eyes and ears, as part of the chain of custody and the ballot provisional pieces within the Georgia electoral system. That means we need poll workers that are in the room making the commitment from yesterday, when early voting began, all the way through the holidays, all the way to January 5th, committed to staying late, being there, and being poll workers, not a watcher. A poll watcher just stands at the door and greets. They're important too, but the poll worker themselves are vetted and cured by the state, and they are responsible for the chain of custody of the ballots. So what we've done at Heritage Action is we have worked to place 500 poll workers in the critical counties that are most known for their fraud, like Fulton County and DeKalb County and Gwinnett and Hall and Cobb, all around that Atlanta area, with the hopes that we'll beat back this fraud. Because frankly, Drew, the only way to stop it is to ensure it doesn't happen in the first place. So It's a tight turnaround. Look, I get it. We only have 20-something days before the 5th, and this was quick after the election. It's coming whether we like it or not. And we have to be able to win it for conservatives for what it means for this country. Yeah. And, I might add to that, we have to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. In other words, we can still debate whether or not the election for president, there are issues that we can still battle, and the Trump legal team battling and the competing electors. And we can keep an eye on that. But we can also make sure that we're keeping an eye on the state of Georgia, where I wonder if maybe the benefit right now into the work that Heritage Action is doing, and kudos to you and everyone working so hard to ensure the election integrity that should be happening in the Constitution. And again, I brought this up, Jessica, and I'm sure you would agree with this. Listen, we care about election integrity as much as we care about who the person will be to hold the seat. And listen, if we know that we have election integrity, and we know that everything was done right by the book, that we know
that in Georgia, if we see the results and after having the results of the state turn out that the individuals in the state decided they want somebody like Raphael Warnock to be their senator, then if that is the legitimate pick, then that's what it is. But we want to make sure that no matter what, that election integrity comes first and foremost, because we want the will of the people to be heard. But having said that, let's talk about Raphael Warnock. Seems like a pretty nice guy. He used the Christmas season to compare conservatives to Herod and says that we want to, quote, kill children for passing tax reform. He seems like a nice guy, said not many people, I think, about that kind of attitude. Well, what about this guy?
Well, look, first and foremost, to your earlier comment, you're exactly right. We have to have integrity in our election system, and that's why we're working so hard in the state of Georgia, and really to expose the radicalness of Mr. Warnock, Reverend Warnock. And I got to tell you, Drew, we don't have to do that much, because the reality is that his statements on everything from the police to Americans to culture, even asking people to ask for forgiveness for their whiteness. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that he has said from the pulpit, and it's a shame of his last comments leaking, and they didn't have to leak too bad, because you see him going after the tax cuts and saying that it would be equivalent to thugs and gangsters. And I don't know about you, but thugs and gangsters don't give money back, and the tax cuts gave $1,400 back to the average middle-class family across the country, let alone when you talk about the family tax credit and the child tax return credit that put money back in the pockets of hardworking Americans. So it is a misguided way for him to look at the tax cuts bill. It's a shame. And I think the more that we can point this out to voters in Georgia, the more they will realize that the choice couldn't be more clear for the conservative values at stake this election.
Yeah, and I think that's where I was trying to go before as well with the candidates on the Democrat side. Two things that I might mention. The first thing would be that we can now make more of the focus on one single state after the fact, where we can have heritage action on the ground, where we can have individuals keeping a keen eye out, where we can actually probe and look and secure better than if it were a national election where you're trying to separate and you thin it all out and it's spread out maybe too much. Now that focus, that hyper focus on Georgia will be a benefit in the long term because of the fact that we're just looking at the one state and the couple of races. But also, having said that too, I wonder how many people not only in the state see and hear from the candidates and can look now, Raphael Warnock, and can really be hyper-focused upon. If you want to get to the hyper-focus, you can hyper-focus on him as a candidate. You can hyper-focus on others as candidates to show what they'd say and what they've been able to accomplish and how they feel about the country, where on a national scale. And that is helpful. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, Drew, because we're starting to see this kind of hyper focus, as you're rightly putting it, come through in just the volunteer base that's showing up. We've got 1,300 people that, amidst COVID, Christmas, college football, all the things that have our attention right now in the South, right? They're showing up day after day, weekend after weekend to do phone calls, send text messages, go door to door, because they recognize just how important this election is, just exactly what's at stake when you look at the majority in the Senate and you look frankly at what Chuck Schumer has verbally said he's going to do. He wants to rig the Senate rules, abolish the filibuster, pack the courts, pass the Green New Deal, huge tax increases, support for infanticide. I mean, the list goes on. And so while people are, yes, rightly in tune with the president's litigation and the ongoing efforts for the general election, we're walking and chewing gum, and we can be this hyper-focused in Georgia on these two Senate runoffs. Early voting began yesterday, and it'll carry all the way until January 5th.
Yeah. I always wondered if there are people that can't walk and chew gum. It's a fun expression, but you ever think about that? It's like, I wonder, is it really that way? I guess there may have been once upon a time. But the other thing too, I think, and before we go, is this. Jessica Anderson joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, Heritage Action, doing some great work there in Georgia on the ground, the executive director, and certainly the hard work that we are so blessed to be able to say that they are doing as a country. Again, everybody, election integrity. That's what this is about. The chips fall where they may, and we're okay with that as long as the integrity and the Constitution is honored. We have all of that. We get it. But at the same time, how it is going around the state and what you're hearing, does it feel like that? Because of what's at stake, and let's remember something. If we were to believe that the Senate is the firewall, basically, from really moving things forward as far as the agenda that you described of Democrats, and then the opposite, which if these two seats were to be in Republicans' hands, then all bets are off as far as pushing through and forcing through policies that we can't even imagine what it would be like. Do the people that you talk to, look, you're on the ground in all different areas. They get that, right? They know that, they see it. And what about those areas that you described that you are in around the major areas like Atlanta? Do you get a sense that they feel that as well?
The voters we talked to this week certainly get it. And I mean, usually the conversations go, they agree, they're with us. They understand what's at stake. They make the commitment to vote. They may ask a question or two. And then it turns to fraud, and it turns to, how do I ensure and how do I know that my vote will really be counted?
Right.
And that's when we ask them, will they be a poll worker? What sort of work and pressure do we need to do at the Georgia state legislature? Does the governor need to call a special election to get some of the stuff under control? So I think all of that is really part of the conversation at the door that we have been having. But I will say overall, voters understand it. They've been bombarded with ads the last 15 days. You can't turn on the television in Georgia without seeing an ad one way or the other. They know what's at stake, and this is really going to be a turnout race.
Yeah.
What side has the most to turn out for the vision for the country?
Yeah. All right, you're doing some incredible work there. Jessica Anderson joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, executive director there at Heritage Action. And we'll keep an eye on what is going on. Maybe we'll revisit and see before everything goes down and see what is happening and how you feel. And maybe even a wrap up after the fact. Would love to see what's going on and continue to be in contact. All the best. Thanks, Jessica. I appreciate a few minutes.
That was great.
All right. We'll see you soon. There
Thank you.
All right. Jessica Anderson joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. And again, the important thing, too, is as you continue to watch the state of Georgia, and yes, we could do both, everybody. I know there are people that are like, well, we don't want to talk about Georgia. We want to talk about the presidential election. And we can do both. And we have to do both. You got to keep an eye on Georgia. You can't forget about what's happening there. The Dominion voting machines. I mean, man. When we hear about the judge who's ordered the release of the report showing that the Dominion voting machines had errors in Michigan County and the forensics compiled in connection with the lawsuits there in Antrim County, when you're talking about what happened in Michigan, and just to give you an idea of a little taste of what they found, that there were intentional errors that led to bulk adjudication of ballots with no oversight, no transparency, no audit trail, leading to voter or election fraud. And based on this study, they concluded that the Dominion voting system should not be used in Michigan, and concluded that the results of Antrim County should not have been certified. An unusually high error rate in the ballot tabulations. And that these Dominion voting machines intentionally and purposefully, hear that, designed with inherent errors to create systemic fraud and influence election results. This according to the report. The system intentionally generates an enormously high number of ballot errors. The electronic ballots are then transferred for adjudication. And now let's remember what adjudication is, everybody. Adjudication is when those ballots are moved to an individual who gets to, not that they're tabulated in the machine and then there's the vote, but one that is questioned, that is moved to an adjudication where a person looks at it and decides what is and is not on that ballot. And if you remember in Georgia and the concerns about the Dominion machines and how there was one worker who was showing how an adjudication would be rife with fraud if, for example, a blank ballot, remember this was the Dominion voting machine, Georgia, a blank ballot was put into the machine. It was scanned and then sent for adjudication. So what does that mean? Here's specifically her words, this worker who was explaining there in Georgia how adjudication works and how it could be messed with.
So, okay, it sent it to adjudication.
Right after the fact. This is sent to adjudication because it was a blank ballot. So it got sent now for adjudication. So here's what happens.
And there's my batch.
It goes into a batch, right? It goes into a batch of ballots of all the ones that are adjudicated. So follow.
So, okay, it sent it to adjudication. And there's my batch, my blank ballot that I want to adjudicate. And I'm going to vote for Doug Collins. I'm going to vote for Bubba. And I am going to complete it. And I just counted that vote.
I just counted that vote. How it went up for adjudication, it went to this individual who was able to take that blank ballot, fill it out themselves. It was accepted. No trail. In Michigan, there was no trail. And just to give you another idea of how bad it is, the allowable election error rate established by the FEC, the Federal Election Commission guidelines, is 1 in 250,000 ballots. If you're trying to do the math at home, that's a 0.0008%. 1 in 250,000 ballots. That is acceptable. They observed an error rate in the Dominion voting systems, according to the forensics report, of 68%. 68%, 0.0008% acceptable. This demonstrated a significant and fatal error in security and election integrity. So please do not tell us and don't give us this Joe Biden is the next the hacker in chief. There, he's got some coughing issues. It's it's something that he's got going on.
Hey, Esther.
All right, easy. Sorry. When we have serious questions about the integrity of the vote, and again, we can do that, and we can keep an eye on Georgia at the same time. Very disturbing information that's out there. 239-479-5592. It's Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. Blah, 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 blah. Gear up for the liberal loudmouths at work. Drew Steele, mornings on 92.5 Fox News.
At Conditioned Air, we aren't trying to fix or sell all things under the sun. We're very focused on one thing, your comfort in your home and office. We've had this focus for over 58 years now. Our team is nearly 400 strong, and each team member's desire is for your total satisfaction with our services. Southwest Florida weather can take a toll on your air conditioner, so when you need us, we're here to take care of the issue quickly and safely, so you can get on with your day. Conditioned Air offers planned maintenance programs, emergency service, replacement systems, and indoor air quality products to keep you comfortable all year long. You can count on the people of Conditioned Air. We don't push unnecessary parts and equipment on you, which means no high pressure and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Since your comfort is essential, call Conditioned Air, the comfort people since 1962, serving all of Southwest Florida. Call 1-888-COLD-AIR or log on to conditionedair.com. License number CAC 1819590.
Mel's Diner makes your holiday meals easy.
We're bringing back good times and great food.
This holiday season, Mel's Diner puts everyone in the spirit with Mel's Holiday Family Meals to Go. Serving up to 6 with entrees like Mel's famous slow roasted turkey or grilled Virginia ham, $49.99. Chicken mac and cheese, rosemary citrus pork chops, or key lime haddock, $59.99. And Mel's famous award-winning baby back ribs, $69.99. Most meals come with mashed potatoes and veggies. Click melsdiners.com for details. It's from Mel's, so you know everything's fresh. And you couldn't prepare it for less. It's a bell-ringing deal. Mel's Holiday Family Meals to Go. Reserve yours today. Mel's Diner gift cards are available now with a 20% bonus. For example, buy a $25 gift card and get 30. It's the gift everyone will enjoy. Make it home for the holidays with Mel's Diner.
No matter what the holidays look like this year, give your family the gift of fun and memories with a new RV from La Mesa RV. A new Fleetwood Flair motorhome, number A10958, is discounted over $33,000. Your holiday adventure begins at La Mesa RV, I-75 at Luckett Road in Fort Myers, or lamesarv.com. All advertised prices plus tax tag title and $9.95 dealer fee. Offer expires day of ad.
Christmas is around the corner, and the deals at the Diamond District are only beginning. Now through Christmas, visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District and save up to 50% off beautiful diamond earrings, stunning diamond rings, bracelets, necklaces, and more.
At the Diamond District, you should be driving a Kia from Galliana. Galliana Kia.
Year-end sales event at Galliana Kia in Fort Myers. Everything goes, nothing held back. 2021 Kia Forte LXS lease, just $99 per month. That's right, a new Kia Forte for $99 per month. 2021 Kia Sportage LX lease, $149 per month. Yes, a new Kia Sportage SUV for $149 per month. Select models with interest-free financing for 75 months. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. At Galliana Kia in Fort Myers, if you've got $500 down and you make at least $2,000 per month, our lenders can get you approved. Galliana Kia, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana. Galliana Kia.
36-month lease is 10,000 miles per year, $34.99 due at signing plus tax, tag title, dealer and acquisition fee, 0 security deposit with lender approval, $13.33 per month per thousand borrowed for 75 months at 0 APR with 0 down. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
Pandemic, market drops, elections. Don't let the noise and fear distract you. Where do you go for clarity in uncertain times? For experienced advice on planning for retirement, tune in to Saving the Investor with Alfie Townsend, Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. or visit us at savingtheinvestor.com.
You want a new look for your kitchen, but you really dread the thought of subjecting your home and family to the mess and fuss created by weeks of remodeling? Cornerstone Builders has the solution. They can give your kitchen an entirely new look in a matter of days, not weeks. Stand by for the phone number to schedule your free in-home consultation. Cornerstone will save you a lot of time and thousands of dollars with a custom kitchen reface. This 4-step process includes 15 cabinet doors, 5 drawer fronts, and includes relaminating your cabinet exteriors, plus new hinges and new knobs or handles. Best part? The price. Just $38.20 for a beautiful thermofoil reface or $78.20 for maple wood reface. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation. 239-332.
Just wanted to say good morning to everybody who's watching. Hello, good morning, good to see you. Hey, can you do me a favor? And if you're watching right now on Facebook, on YouTube, wherever you are, would you do me a favor as I'm looking right now? Can you do me a favor and just say here? Just let me know that you're watching. If you wouldn't mind just typing in there. To let me know that you're watching the feed right now. Just trying to keep a tally as to how many people are watching the feed as we speak. We got about 3 or 4 more minutes before we go back. I see, Jim Croker, good morning, 3 E's, that's me. Good to see you. Steve S. is there, Terry is there, and Williams Ridge Studio, I like that. Lady Catherine, of course, is here. We appreciate you, and Michelle Scott, and Cement Tanker, all right, and Judy and Renee Hughes, and Catherine Lott. Let's see, Richard Wagner is present. Thank you, Richard, for being present. Let's see, oh goodness. All right, there's so many people that are coming through now that I can't even keep track. All right. All right, I thought this was going to be a little smoother than this as far as the people popping in. So, all right, a lot of you are watching Kathy Casillas, Pigsaw Janet, and Joe Childs, David Goodrich, and Tim Laney, and Kathy Binger, and Steve Gallo, and Beth West, Tony Holton in Australia. Is that right? What time is it in Australia right now? So it's like, is it 7:30 at night? Is that what it is right now? Alex Lockhart's here. Matt Fleming. Debbie Craig is here. Laura Savage. And Teresa's here. Josie De La Cruz is here. And Susan McLean Downing. I appreciate seeing you all. Sean Jones and Benjamin Conley. And let's see who else we have. I don't want to miss anybody. Just trying to keep an eye on who's here. Richard Brown is here. Bernie Mason. Marianne Pollock Brown is here in Naples. Good to see you there. Richard Criswell is there. Nita Sirachi is there. I hope I said your name right. Carol Harvey. Good to see you, Carol. Charles Michael. Bev Dickey is from England. All right. Good to see you. Are you visiting England or are you there all the time? Is a question. Hazel Pillay is here in Durban, South Africa. So, is that where you live, or are you, gosh, what time is it in Durban, South Africa? All right, Jake Payne is present. We have Parias, is that right? Parias Apollo is here. I hope I said your name right. Forgive me if I say your names wrong, everybody. Tammy Wynn is here. Joe Ohm. Let me see. How do you say Amorachukwu from Nigeria? Amorachukwu? Did I say your name right? I'm not sure. Joe wants me to just tell the story already. What story? What's the story you want me to tell, Joe? Jerry Comer, I appreciate you being there. Terry Dickinson's in Washington State. Barbara Reed's in Alaska. All right. Great to see you. Peter Smolovsky. I hope I said your name right. Jack says, no, there's not a new national. I know. That's a story we'll get to in a minute. Let's see. Triker Mary Schindewolf. And Patty Cummings and Heba Maya. And Tammy's listening while doing the makeup. How do you... Oh, I guess... Okay, you could do that. Yeah, it would be weird if you were trying to do that and had the phone on or something. That would be kind of weird. All right. Patty Cummings, good to see you, Patty. And Gloria. And boy, there's so many other people. I do appreciate you being here and joining us, but I've got to get back to it because we're ready to go, so stand by.
Conditions, paid time off, or an opportunity for growth. My Shower Door offers all of these, plus more. For the past 5 years, My Shower Door has continued to grow throughout Florida, and this growth requires top candidates. If you or someone you know is interested in making a career change, apply at myshowerdoor.com/careers and take that first step towards your new career path.
Hey, small business owners, this is Drew Steele. Look, things have been rough this year, and we want to help. Enter the Bounce Forward Together sweepstakes presented by Comcast Business, and you can win $5,000 and a 4-week professionally produced ad schedule on 92.5 Fox News. Log on to bounceforwardtogether.com, answer a few quick questions, and you'll be entered to win. That's bounceforwardtogether.com to enter to win $5,000 for your small business. No purchase necessary. See official rules for details.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. We all count on our home's electrical outlets to provide us the power we need when we need it. But sometimes an overloaded circuit can lead to a blown outlet. So leave it to the pros at Mr. Sparky. We'll get it done right and get it done safely. Call now for $70 off any electrical repair.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888.
Limitations and restrictions may apply. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Duncan's Diamonds invites you to our greatest Christmas sale ever. With Christmas just around the corner, everything in the entire store is specially priced right now with tremendous savings. Christmas will be here before you know it. So now's the time to buy everything from diamonds to the most fashionable jewelry at unbeatable prices. We guarantee you will be amazed and find great gifts for everyone on your list. This Christmas sale at Duncan's Diamonds Diamonds is the largest ever. Now's the time to save. Come see us. You can enjoy Duncan's Diamonds layaway or save with fantastic holiday financing plans. People come from all over because we will not be undersold by anyone, anywhere. It's definitely worth the drive to Duncan's Diamonds. Save during this huge Christmas sale. Duncan's Diamonds for the best prices on diamonds and fine jewelry. We work very hard to make you happy because we believe in love. Come see us.
Duncan's Diamonds, US 41, Gulf Coast Town Center, and Naples at Mercado.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592. The talk and text line streaming live on YouTube anytime you want to watch. Well, for the time being, I don't know how long. At Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's, and also on Facebook. We have a lot of people that are watching. I don't know how long it's going to be, but, you just keep it going. All right, coming up in about 10, 15 more minutes, we got Drew's College of Political Knowledge, 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD and try to have a little bit of fun on this crazy morning where we're told that the Electoral College has affirmed a Joe Biden win. And how dare anybody think anything different, right?
Trump campaign brought dozens and dozens and dozens of legal challenges to test the result. They were heard again and again. And each of the times they were heard, they were found to be without merit.
Yeah, well, not so fast. Yeah, we still got some time, everybody. I know Joe Biden wants to be the, he's applying clearly for the hacker-in-chief. Now, when I say hacker-in-chief, listen, let's just be honest. I'm a little concerned about his health. I mean, did you listen to any of his announcement yesterday from his fake office of the president-elect there, a little thing in the background? I have one, too. It's very impressive. I call him the hacker-in-chief just because somebody give him a lozenge.
Once again, in America, the rule of law, more Americans voted this year than have ever voted in the history of the United States. Votes counted. President Pence received when they won in 2016. Excuse me. Or dispute the results.
I can't do it. I mean, his wife's a doctor. She's got to have a throat lozenge in her purse or something like that. Can't you just come on now? Hand her a lozenge.
Every time I think about Trump, I get allergic.
Yeah, even Hillary had the problem. It must be. You know what it is? It's just Trump. It's all his fault. Joe Biden would be perfectly healthy if it weren't for the fact that he was running against Donald Trump for president of the United States. That's the problem. It's the same thing that happened to Hillary. I mean, she had the whole. Seems like it's this coughing fit thing going on. Yeah, I wonder what Chuck Schumer has to say about the Trump election lawsuits and all the things that are going on. And
after the Trump,
I don't care. That's it. That's all I want to know. Here's as much as I want of Chuck Schumer.
Just how many?
Okay, that's it. That's all I want. I don't need any more because, Chuck Schumer and others that seem to want to ignore the fact that we have more and more evidence showing the forensic audit report on Dominion voting machines in Michigan. In one county, as a matter of fact, 33% of the vote was switched electronically from Trump to Biden, and it's there in the report, but there's nothing to see here. We'll just move on, all right? The questions about Bill Barr and what he could have and could not have done and deciding to step down, we're told, did he step down or was he fired? We got that whole back and forth going on before Christmas. And, he said, the president said had a nice meeting with the attorney general. Relationship's a good one, done an outstanding job. This is according to his tweet. Bill will be leaving just before Christmas, spend holidays with his family. And I guess the things that Bill Barr had to say about his time there went out of his way in the letter to decry the frenzied and baseless narrative of Russia collusion that hampered the first 2 years of the Trump presidency. As Bill Barr said, your record is all the more historic because you accomplished it in the face of relentless, implacable resistance. Your 2016 victory speech, in which you reached out to your opponents and called for working together for the benefit of the American people, was immediately met by a partisan onslaught against you in which no tactic, no matter how abusive and deceitful, was out of bounds. The nadir of the campaign was the effort to cripple, if not oust, your administration with frenzied and baseless accusations of collusion with Russia. Of course, many people would have liked to see more come out of the Attorney General's office as far as people that would have been indicted and convictions and handcuffs and the like. And I think that, we talked about that before, and I think the shame of it all, no matter who was in that position, and the dirty little secret is that I don't know if we were ever going to see that the best we would see is some low-level individuals to kind of satiate those that were screaming, and the fact that look, if we're going to be honest, I'm going to move on in just a second, but the swamp is deep, everybody. I was having this conversation with my wife yesterday, and how deep it is. You've got the military-industrial complex who hates the president. You've got Democrats who don't like him. You've got some Republicans out there who don't like him, who do not want their good time being ruined, whether that's a good time that's happening because of the benefits that they get from certain countries. I'm not saying that China might be one of them, but boy, there's a lot of evidence lately of that, isn't there? And that's another part of the story we're going to get to. But man, who benefited? How deep these relationships go, and how you can look at Donald Trump as the only individual that you can think of that decided to get into the political arena that doesn't have to worry about the amount of money that's being spent on him to change his mind, because he could care less about that. And because of that, makes him very dangerous, and always has made it very dangerous, very dangerous to individuals to be in that position, to not care, but care about the country more than other countries that would like to slip some cash your way. The kind of cash that you might have in millions of dollars that you failed to report to the IRS because it's coming from shady places, Hunter Biden. I'm just saying. And that when you're ruining people's good times, they'll do whatever they can to make that. And if you want, and I know I have to go on, but if you want just a little microcosm of the macro of that, hasn't it ever struck you as crazy how insane during an election people will get when they're running for office? The things that they will do and the amount of the crazy things that people and how they will act just to be voted into a local office, a state office, a national office. During an election, how crazy and this skullduggery and the things that are said and the things that are put out there and just how horrible people can be just to win an elected seat. Do you think that every single person does those kind of things because they love the country so much that they're desperate to get that seat? Or is there something else? What makes people sometimes so desperate in these local races, state races? Ego? Money, power. Do you see where I'm going with this? So you can only imagine on a national level with a president the way he is and the things that he's been able to accomplish, to Bill Barr's point, how you are willing to do and say things to get that person out of office. And I hate to say that, and I'm not being conspiratorial, but man, when you see some of the things going on with Dominion voting machines and the questions there. All right, so I said I would kind of refresh this, and Steve Days is going to join us coming up at 8:05. I might even have him for the whole hour if he doesn't mind. I don't know how much time he has, but Steve Days, of course, his podcast and Blaze TV program, and he's got a book out. We'll talk about his book. Boy, it's an interesting read. His version of A Christmas Carol. Woo. Yeah, hits home. But we'll talk about that, but we'll talk about this as well. When you hear about Pennsylvania, you hear about competing electors, you hear about Pennsylvania and Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, even the split in Michigan, two separate slates of electors, and how this all works out. And many people have been trying to explain this competing electors issue to try to make sense of the scenarios. So I think it was Reuters? Yeah, that had this and talked about it. That the direction to which this would go. States with close contest between the president and Joe Biden could produce competing slates of electors, one certified by the governor and the other by the legislature. Now, I'm trying to see when this was out. Yeah, this was put out in October and remember, it's Reuters, so understand where it's coming from. When a left-leaning outlet or organization is putting out what the president or what could possibly happen back in October. They're doing all of this under the guise of be careful because this might be the trick that Donald Trump would play to stay in office, when in fact it's quite the opposite when we see the Dominion voting machine issues, when we see the mail-in ballot issues, when we see the shutting down of the counts in these states, in these swing states, only to be recounted hours later. To these huge jumps for Joe Biden, all the questions and all the things that we already know, but the explanation of how all of this works. And as Reuters was saying, the risk of it happening, the competing slate of electors, which we have, is heightened in battleground states like Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, right? So if that happens, which it did, then what happens next? So which set of electors would prevail? Both sets of electors would meet and vote on December 14th. There they are. We just had that happen. The competing results now get sent to Congress. That's the next date that's up. Congress, and remember something, that the Constitution talks about January 20th. Everything else is not in the Constitution. That's the bet. That's the bank that the Trump legal team is going with right now with the slate of electors. Stephen Miller from the Trump team also saying that, listen, this is how this works. This is how this could be possible. Both chambers of Congress could accept the same slate of electors, which would almost certainly put the matter to rest. Chambers could also split, which is more likely if the Republicans retain control of the Senate and Democrats hold on to their House majority. That's why Georgia is so important. If lawmakers cannot agree on a set of electors, the country will find itself in uncharted territory. And, oh well, if that's where we are, that's where we are, especially considering the circumstances. The Electoral Count Act, often described by academics as unintelligible, seems to, this is them, what Reuters is saying, seems to favor the slate of electors certified by the state's governor. Academics have sketched out several scenarios. Here you go. Under one, Mike Pence, as president of the Senate, could throw out both sets of state electors. Another contemplates that the House of Representatives would end up choosing between Biden and Trump. There's even a scenario in which the Speaker of the House, currently Democrat Nancy Pelosi, could become acting president. How about that? Supreme Court may get called in to interpret the Electoral College Act to break up any deadlock. And it has happened before, everybody. In 1876, dueling electors in 3 states were deadlocked until a deal was brokered day before Inauguration Day. So, having said that, is it possible that this dueling set of electors could keep things alive? You know, it's the faint hope that there would again be, and let me just make sure that for all of you that are just getting nutty on my YouTube channel, and those of you that are getting crazy on the text line, and for those that are calling, understand that first and foremost, everybody, we, you and me, together, we care about the Constitution. We care about the integrity of the vote. And if we know that the Constitution is followed, and we know that the integrity of the vote is as pure as it possibly can be, that you let the chips fall where they may. If 80 million people chose Joe Biden to be president of the United States, then so be it. You can't tell me that's the case. Sorry. No way. We know about Kelly McEnany that talked about the quadrillion odds of someone who is at 10 p.m. getting ready to win the election to only lose the election because of all the numbers that came in, no chance. All of these things are out there for discussion. And it may be possible that, as we have seen some of these judges and justices who have decided, and even some lawmakers who've decided to not get involved, possibly because they are worried about the doxing and being the person that overturns an election and what that would mean for their family and their history and their legacy, as opposed to what it means to the integrity of the rule of law and the Constitution in this country. That on the other side of this, you can forget all of that. It's going to Congress with these slate of electors that are split in these states. which, if chosen, would flip the election for Donald Trump. Does it happen? I don't know. Are you ready to let it play out? I am. All right. Hope that made some sense. If not, 239-479-5592. You can call and we can try to refresh. All right, don't forget Steve Day's coming up after the 8 o'clock hour. But first, Drew's College of Political Knowledge, 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD if you would like to play right now. 239-479-5592. We'll take caller number 3, Jake. Caller number 3. We'll play Drew's College, have a little bit of fun up next on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along with traffic. Here's Sabrina Katz.
Traffic is slowing from a crash at Buckingham Road and Palm Beach Boulevard. Southbound delays as well as northbound on Buckingham near Riverdale High School. Also, the crash at Lee Boulevard and Sunshine. Delays finally cleared on Lee Boulevard. Just a tap on the brakes heading north on Sunshine. If you're heading to 23rd, we're backed up heading westbound towards Gunnery Road. Also, delays coming out of Cape Coral on the Midway Bridge, of course, heading into Fort Myers. And a slowdown on Country Club Boulevard heading north to Veterans Parkway. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Monday morning, we're going to be waking up to some patchy fog, then just a few spotty showers for this afternoon and this evening. High temperature for today, 81 degrees. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
Serving up a tray load of truth today on 92.5 Fox News.
Hi, this is John Lawrence with CGU Homes, residential contractor in Southwest Florida. As a Naples native, my childhood is full of memories, from fishing the backwaters of the Everglades to helping my dad with home improvement projects. Today, I have the pleasure of watching my kids grow up, enjoying the same way of life. At CGU Homes, we understand building a home is more than drawings and budgets. It's about building lifelong memories for you and your family. I've been in the residential construction industry for over 20 years and have had the luxury of handpicking my team. When it comes to my team, I look for passion, innovation, and trustworthiness. You can trust CGU Homes to build with honesty and transparency through every step of the building process. So when you're ready to start a new chapter for your family, whether it's remodeling your existing home or building a brand new one, I invite you to see some of our past projects and learn more about us at cguhomes.com. That's cguhomes.com. And God bless the USA.
Hey, this is Papa announcing our special discounts for the holiday season. If you have us clean and seal your tile roof, we'll also include your pavers and pool decks at no additional charge. Please let me thank all of you for your fantastic response to my wacky commercials that have made 2020 our best year in the past 34 years. If we clean and seal your tile roof, we can also change the color of your tile roof if you're tired of the existing color. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Kerry, and Cody, we wish you a safe and joyful holiday season. If you want to consider our special holiday discount offer, please call me, Papa, at 945-2700 for our free tile roof inspection. If we do find needed repairs, we'll make it affordable. Please call me at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. License number CCC 1331790. Remember, area code 239-945-2700.
A refreshing swim in your pool is just what you need in times like these. But do you know if your pool water is safe and healthy for your family and pets? Just because your pool is blue doesn't mean it's healthy. A poorly maintained pool can cause irreversible damage to your pool and equipment. Healthy Pools of Southwest Florida is a fully licensed and insured full-service pool company. Their experienced pool experts do it all: cleaning, repairs, leak detection, and more. And they'll always keep your heaters and pumps working their best. Their experts complete a 20-point checklist at each visit to assure well-balanced water and well-functioning equipment. They care about your pool and your family. That's why so many pool owners trust them. Call today for a free estimate, 425-0300. They'll keep your pool safe for your family and your pets. They look forward to serving you. Call Healthy Pools today, 425-0300. That's 425-0300. Or online at healthypoolsswfl.com. Healthy Pools is a For God and Country company.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College.
let's go. Let's go to Steve. Steve's in Buckingham. Hey, Steve.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you earn a PhD or associate's degree. Question, sir, starts right now. Hey, Steve in Buckingham, do you know our 2 senators? Who are they? Who right now, as we speak, are the 2 senators in the great state of Florida? Their names?
Marco Rubio and Senator.
Yeah.
Is it Gates or he's just Congress, House of Representatives? Or
It's Rick Scott. Rick Scott is the other one.
Rick Scott, yes, the ex-governor.
Yes, the ex-governor. We can only give you half a point for that. Sorry. But let's. That's okay. Let's try an associate's degree on this question. You remember Hillary Clinton, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you remember she was
the beast.
Yeah. Remember she was a senator for what state?
New York.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got an associate's. We'll see if we get a bachelor's on this question. When I say the word CDC, right, I bring up the CDC. Everybody's talking about the CDC with the vid, right? The CDC. What does CDC stand for?
Center for Disease Control.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got a bachelor's. We'll see if you get a master's on this question. What are the 2 parts of the United States Congress?
House of Representatives and the Senate.
That is correct, sir. Good job. All right. See, big comeback. See, you got a little rough start, and then next thing you know, you get through the rough patch, and you were right all along, right there at the end. Well, congratulations, Stephen Buckingham. You got yourself a master's degree today on Drew's College. That is a very impressive feat on a Tuesday. Not many people can pull that off.
I'm telling you, it was rough.
You know what? But a lot to ice it up, buddy. Just ice. Just get ice it up, and it'll feel better in the morning. I promise. Or maybe that's something else. All right. Listen, Stephen Buckingham, thank you for playing. Thank you for everybody playing along. We always appreciate that. 750 Drew's College each and every day. Steve Dace joins us next.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
I just had my checkup, and my doctor could tell I've been eating healthier. But sometimes I have a hard time covering the cost of food. Luckily, my Humana Medicare Advantage dual eligible special needs plan offers me a healthy foods card to help me pay for food at certain stores. If you have Medicare and Medicaid, you may get $25 to spend on approved groceries. You just swipe it like a credit card. My Humana Medicare plan also covers a lot more, such as medications, dental, eyeglasses, doctor visits, and hospital stays. Do what I did. Talk to Humana.
Talk to a Humana licensed sales agent now by calling toll-free 1-844-706-0557. Humana is a coordinated care plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Florida Medicaid program. Enrollment in this Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Sponsored by Humana Medical Plan, Inc. and the State of Florida Agency for Healthcare Administration. Plans may not be available in all areas. Benefits may vary by plan. Call to learn what plans are available in your area.
By now, you've already heard that only Naples Nissan will give you the full original base MSRP for your trade-in. You may even be sick of hearing about it. Yes, for several months now, we've been telling you to bring us that 5, 6, 7-year-old car you're driving now to get the same price that you paid for it so you can drive home in a brand new Nissan. You've already heard us say, if your trade-in is a 2014 or newer with less than 80,000 miles on it, only Naples Nissan will pay you the full original MSRP for it. So, why have we been advertising the same offer for so many months now? Because it works. We've taken in hundreds of quality trade-ins, sold hundreds of new cars, and made hundreds of new happy customers. And you can still get full MSRP for your trade-in too. Come see us here on Pine Ridge Road and drive your brand new Nissan home today. Visit naplesnissan.com for full details. Happy holidays, Southwest Florida. Offer on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by New South Window Solutions. Find them online at newsouthwindow.com.
Now, This is a Wink News update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. An 86-year-old woman is dead after a golf cart crash on US 41 in North Fort Myers. Troopers say the golf cart drove into the path of another vehicle. FHP says the driver in the car was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. A dog was also in the golf cart. Troopers don't believe that dog was hurt. Many of you are under a boil water notice this morning. It's for a large area of Fort Myers affecting Treeline Avenue from Colonial to Daniels, 6 Mile from Colonial to Penzance, and the Forum from MLK to Colonial. A 24-inch water main broke near I-75 Monday morning. A health alert for South Seas Plantation Beach access on Captiva no longer active this morning. FWC says red tide is no longer present there, or it's at an extremely low level. Terrell Middleton is expected to be in court today. Fort Myers police say he was with a Travis Stanberry picking up marijuana at the Retreat at Vista Lakes apartment complex late last month when Stanberry shot someone in the neck. Their car crashed into a building. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
Traffic is slowing from a crash at Buckingham Road and Palm Beach Boulevard. Southbound delays as well as northbound on Buckingham near Riverdale High School. Also, the crash at Lee Boulevard and Sunshine. Delays finally cleared on Lee Boulevard. Just a tap on the brakes heading north on Sunshine. If you're heading to 23rd, we're backed up heading westbound towards Gunnery Road. Also, delays coming out of Cape Coral on the Midpoint Bridge, of course, heading into Fort Myers. And a slowdown on Country Club Boulevard heading north to Veterans Parkway. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For your Tuesday, we're going to be starting with some patchy fog that eventually wraps up. We'll see a combination of clouds and sunshine, 78 degrees for the high temperature. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
More delightful than driving a convertible Bentley while wearing mink underpants. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. At New South, we are determined to build the best Florida window. Energy-efficient windows that stand up to heat and hurricanes. We call it the ultimate Florida window. Factory direct and guaranteed for life. New South has installed tens of thousands of windows across the state and has been named one of the fastest-growing window companies in the nation. And that is why we're New South proud.
Going on now. Save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
You may not know it, but male performance during intimate moments requires proper blood flow, which only gets worse with age. The result? All men experience some level of performance issues over time, from decreased firmness all the way to chronic ED. At Metro Men's Health, our goal is to provide you with the most effective treatment for performance issues. Years ago, we used to use the same technology as other clinics, but didn't settle for one-size-fits-all treatments or outdated wave technology. Should you? We've developed new patent-pending technology called Linear Piezo Energy Protocol, allowing us to create treatment plans specifically to you. We've helped thousands of men achieve consistent, longer-lasting results, and those results can be yours too. Your condition will only get worse with time. Don't wait. Call Metro Men's Health to schedule your evaluation at 239-599-9900, 239-599-9900, or visit us at metromenshealth.com.
Pool need a checkup? Call the doctor, the Pool Doctor.
Hi, Dr. Mark here. Your old pool pump is an energy hog and likely your second greatest user of electricity. We'll install a new Pentair energy-efficient pump, saving you over $500 a year. We're a family company, and for over 40 years, we've been doing business right.
The prescription is the Pool Doctor for award-winning pool service, repairs, and unheard of $39 diagnostic calls. That's mypooldoctor.com or 239-574-1133. State certified CPC 057088.
Listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. I am so glad you are joining us today. Thank you for making this program a part of your day. We are truly blessed and humbled, and thank you as we are trying to get through it's a crazy day in all different kinds of ways. Whether it's about the election or whether it's about culture. I mean, it's just trying to wrap your arms around all of this and understand and figure it all out and is a lot. And especially at this time of season when in an alternative universe someplace, there is peace. There's a time when you can look back and say, the holiday season, it's a time to relax. It's a time to reflect. It's a time to appreciate family and so much more. And we don't get the chance to do that. It really is crazy. Steve Deace is amazing. We love having him on the program. You know Steve Deace, of course. The Blaze TV show is fantastic. He's got his podcast. He's got so much going on. He's got a book. Steve Deace has a book. And we want to talk about that and so much more. Steve Deace is joining us right now on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. Hey, buddy, how you doing? It's always great to talk to you.
You bet, Drew. Good morning, man. Merry Christmas. How are you?
Merry Christmas to you, too. That exasperated big... it feels that way right now, doesn't it? I mean, people are just longing for this time of season to be that peaceful, relaxing, can't wait to be with family, can't wait to be with my church, can't wait for the day, and now we are in this mess that we're in.
You know, Drew, I'm a big supplement guy. I'm a big workout guy.
Awesome.
I've lost over 100 pounds the last few years, the natural way.
Wow.
Yeah, and I say all this because Saturday or Friday night, I woke up in the middle of the night, and which almost never happens. Yeah, I'm the guy that I don't wake up in the middle of the night unless I think my family's in danger or something. Otherwise, I sleep through everything, storms, everything. Okay. I woke up in the middle of the night Friday night, and just Friday was really, really stressful. I'm arguing with friends of mine who, frankly, it doesn't matter what kind of evidence I show them. They just want Donald Trump to go away, and so they just don't care. And I'm like, you understand the precedent that's being set here, and I mean, things get really heated, and I work in a high-stress environment every day anyway, and I wake up in the middle of the night, Friday night, early Saturday morning, and I just suddenly couldn't get back to sleep. I'm totally wired. And I'm laying there for like 2 hours trying to get back to sleep, debating whether to wake up my wife, who is a therapist. And I decided, I'm going to get up, maybe walk around a little bit, just kind of clear my head. And I stood up, and I had this overwhelming feeling that everything was wrong. And, your chest starts tightening and everything else. Finally, I decided to wake her up. And, she does some breathing techniques with me. She recognizes that there's some symptoms, signs of an anxiety attack.
Sure.
And so she is able to talk me down, get me to sleep. I get up, the next morning, and I still have this like fluttering feeling in my chest and everything. I get through my Saturday morning workout, and I'm still not feeling great. So I finally decide, you know what? I'm 47 now. I'm just going to go. I've already had a physical this year, but let me just go up to the walk-in clinic, and they'll slap an EKG on me, do some blood work, make sure everything's okay. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And they do, and all the blood work is perfectly normal. Everything is EKG, everything's normal. And really what it just came down to is, as someone who is, uniquely equipped to handle stressful situations like this, it's my calling, it's what I do for a living. And yet being immersed in this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for a job, it just, I had reached my breaking point with it in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It just woke me up in my sleep, and I just had enough of dealing with this, and I'm only a human being, and I wonder, for someone who is calcified, because I do this for a living, so I have a certain amount of, before I really get mad or I really start calling BS, I kind of know how much of this process is BS and politics to begin with. So for someone who is kind of trained and has done this for more than a decade of his life full time every day, if I'm at a point now where I am just like, there's nowhere else for me to store the bile, then I don't know where the average everyday person who actually has a life outside of this, I don't know how they're processing all of this, frankly.
Yeah, and I can tell you from personal experience that hits home for me as well. I know exactly what you're saying. You know, there is a wall of anxiety and a ceiling that you hit, and your body is there 24 hours a day. Your anxiety level is at 10. There is no 11. Your body doesn't accept 11. And what your body does is it changes. And personally, I know what that's like. And I understand your feelings completely. As you go and medically, you're trying to figure out what in the world's wrong with my body. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's your anxiety level that it's not like Spinal Tap where the amps go to 11. It doesn't go, your body doesn't go to, there is no 11. You're at a wall all the time. So if your bottom is the ceiling, then after that is a body that can't handle what's going on. So physically, I know exactly where you are. And I appreciate what you're saying, which is, you know, we're the ones that we have the information. We talk to people, we're reading, we're seeing what's going on. We're understanding the situation and how dire, quite frankly, it is. Can you imagine a public that's looking for answers as well, and is also trying to deal with their everyday stress that is going on, and in a lot of cases, not being able to get the proper information, not even knowing who's telling the truth anymore.
And I think, you know, one of the great frustrations for me is there is a notion out there, and I think you and I talked about this before the election, and I'm seeing this notion now even among a lot of my conservative friends. Listen, I'm not a big fan. If I'm being brutally honest, I'm not a huge fan of Donald Trump's public persona many days. But I also don't care because I don't need a buddy, okay? You know, I've been offered a job by Donald Trump. I could have worked for his presidential campaign. I chose not to. I went to work for Ted Cruz's instead. So it's not like I am, you know, sitting here and Cheeto Jesus saves and America's doomed and I don't know who an Abraham Lincoln or George Washington or Ronald Reagan was. It's like the presidency didn't begin until January of 2007. I'm not doing that stuff, okay? But I'm not going to lie to myself either. The guy was a very good president.
Yeah.
And I see stuff like Beth Moore, who continues to slander the brethren out there, making these passive-aggressive claims that the church is embracing racism. And, you know, I've invited her on my show multiple times. Hey, show me who these people are. I will absolutely help you irradiate them. And she never has any specific allegations. And she's out there tweeting to she's probably the biggest female celebrity in the history of the Christian church, probably. Okay. And she's out there tweeting to people about Christian nationalism and that Trump's the worst temptation of all time. And I'm just thinking to myself, hey, what about Christian imperialism? You know, I mean, I guess because George W. Bush didn't cheat 15 years before going to the White House on his pro-abortion wife, it was totally okay to go to Iraq and bomb a bunch of innocent kids for WMDs we never found. How come when we all supported that, the Beth Moores of the world were not all out there saying, boy, this is just a terrible embrace of our Christian witness, but now a guy who's got some deep moral flaws actually is signing peace treaties in the region like every day, and suddenly we're supposed to act like those are terrible things.
Right.
This lack of perspective is what's bothering me.
Right.
The lack of, and the other thing that's bothering me too, and you know, I was just in your state. I took my family to Disney World about a month ago, and I've lived in a state that has our governor's not as aggressive as Ron DeSantis has been, but she has been one of the more aggressive reopening governors in the country. We were the first state to do high school sports and a bunch of stuff.
Right.
You know, and I just am sitting here and just, you know, I get besieged with emails from people every day for the last 8.5 months. When will these lockdowns end? When can I leave my home? And I'm like, you are the people that own all the guns. How many George Floyd fake funerals for a guy that pointed a weapon at a pregnant woman's stomach were you going to watch on TV this summer that were called riots, that we used to call riots? How many more of those were you going to watch before you thought, you know what, to hell with this? I'm opening my restaurant, my hardware store tomorrow. I am just beyond. That's the other thing that gets me is our own people, our own customers, just sitting in their homes around the country in their basement, firing off Facebook posts that probably get shadow banned, blogs and emails to shows like mine saying, when will this end? What part of government by the consent of the governed do you not understand? It will end when you make it end. There's about 5 governors in the country. You have one, I have one of the others, that has actually done some form of let's pursue what actual science is and balance it with how the fact we must live our lives while this is going on.
Right.
The rest are your typical politicians, R or D. If you have Doug Ducey down there in Arizona, and then you've got Andrew the Ripper in Cuomo in New York. Mm-hmm. All right. If you grant these people power, they don't give it back. What part of the American Revolution did all these conservative content customers not actually study? That they didn't just write the Declaration of Independence and King George III was like, well, hot damn, Drew, I never thought of it from that perspective. You're right. You guys are British subjects. You ought to be treated with the full accoutrements thereof. My bad. Yeah. No, dude. What part of this did you miss? Did you think when you let them declare your business non-essential and then taxed you anyway? Did you think that they were just going to be like, you know, we're kind of getting both sides of this deal here. We get to rule them and we get to revenue them at the same time. You know what? I think this is probably unfair. Let's stop doing this. No, you're going to have to make them stop doing it. And they won't stop. I mean, they're already telling you with a vaccine that is an experiment. They're already telling you, well, even if it works, you've got to wear, masks and social distance, maybe into 2022 or something. I mean, dude, when will you realize they're making this poop up and stop it from occurring? It will stop when we make it stop and not a minute sooner.
Yeah. Steve Deace joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. I do want to get to his new book, A Nefarious Carol. I want to talk about that specifically in just a second, but I do want to mention too, you know, when you brought up the president and what people say about him and you know, the concerns about what he has done in the past or his tweets or his attitude. And I think biblically we could probably look and say, man, how many times have we looked at the flawed messenger giving us the right message? How many times does that happen in the world? Right. And how many times, and why can't we even reflect on that for just a minute? Take a step back and say, hold on a second. We know this in history. We know this biblically. We know how this works. So you have to take a step back and take a breath when it comes to the individual. Don't let that message don't let the message be flawed by the messenger, or don't let what ultimately happens be flawed by the individual, because you should be able to separate the two. But having said that, boy, I got to talk about this book, A Nefarious Carol, because as I'm going through it and I'm reading it, ouch. I mean, it's powerful, Steve. It's powerful because it's tangible. If you understand what I'm talking about with the book, talk about the book, and then maybe when you explain it, that will make sense, how tangible it is of a read this time of year.
It is a sequel to a book I wrote back in 2016 that we're going to turn into a movie next year with the production company that did Abby Johnson's movie Unplanned last year.
Wow.
This is their next movie is the predecessor book, A Nefarious Plot. And I got the idea for A Nefarious Plot one day in the shower. What if we took C.S. Lewis's Screwtape Letters about how hell tempts us as individuals, but we extrapolated it, we prorated it to how hell took down an entire culture. And so I created this character called Lord Nefarious, a senior demon general from hell who was tasked by Satan with taking down the United States of America. And in the book, he explains why he did it, how he did it, who he did it with and through. We name names, real people, connect dots, and he doesn't hold anything back. And then the point of him doing this is because by putting it right in our face and spiking the ball in the end zone, it will prove to his master, the devil, that his plan has worked and it's irreversible. We're too far gone to believe it. We'll dismiss it in our own complacency because we're so much bought into his plan. And earlier this year, I just woke up in the middle of the night or early in the morning and had this idea for a sequel book. 4 years later, I wasn't even thinking of writing. And that was to do a take off of one of my other favorite stories, Dickens' A Christmas Carol. And so now here in the sequel book, since Lord Nefarious was successful in removing America as an obstacle to the enemy's plan, the enemy now wants to use America as a launching pad for the final stage of his plan. Before that, he needs a mate. He needs a wife. And so he comes upon a scared young woman one day in a rundown motel who's escaping an abusive boyfriend and a broken family. And her name is Ray. And no, she's not named after the Star Wars character. It's R-A-E. It's the middle name of my mother and grandmother. That's a female tradition for middle names in my mom's side of the family. So she's named after them. And he comes upon her one night and has to woo her to joining him of her own free will as his wife in order to give birth to his Antichrist. But for the ritual to be successful, there is a catch. He cannot lie to her intentionally. He has to tell her the truth. And so he needs to disciple her, woo her. And in this novella, you follow along as the devil spends one night emulating her favorite book as a child, A Christmas Carol. He takes her through her past and her present and how, in order to connect with her intimately, in order to convince her to join him in reshaping the future. And then at the end, she has a choice that she has to make. Will she choose him or not?
And that's why the tangible part of it is, as you read and you see the scenarios, the situations, it strikes home for many people, situations that many have maybe been in themselves. You look at everything as you walk through it. It's powerful, Steve. It really is a great piece of work that you've done. And I would encourage everybody, you can get it at all your favorite places. Nefarious Carol is the name of it, Steve Deace's new book. And it's out now, right? It's been released, right?
Today, it releases today.
Excellent.
The publisher would kill me, though, if I didn't request people get it at Amazon, if you can, only because that is now, from a book sales standpoint, like the number one distributor that publishers track for book sales.
Excellent.
So, plus, we don't know what bookstores are even open around the country right now. So.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, let me ask you this. I know we're on the air, but how busy are you? Can you hang around for a little while? You got a busy morning right now? Do you have any more? Because
I do have a busy morning, but I did clear this block of time off for you, so I have a little more time. Sure.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, because we're going to take a break, and then after the bottom of the hour, when we come back, I would love to hit more on what's going on, the news of the day, and get your thoughts on some of the things that are happening. And touch on the book more as well with Steve Deace, who's going to stick around with us. I'm so grateful. And when we come back, we'll talk more. We'll talk about some of the issues of the day, as you can imagine, all the things that are happening in the confusion, even with the Electoral College and Attorney General Barr and Dominion voting machines, and we can go on and on and on. So stay right there. Steve Deace will continue to hold with us, and then we'll be back in just a few more minutes on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. 92.5 Fox News, making Southwest Florida great every day. 92.5 Fox News.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and you know what I'm talking about. People are working from home. The kids are home alone. Maybe you're schooling from home. There's a lot of situations where losing your electricity not only creates problems, man, it compounds them, right? People are anxious. Some feel powerless, but you do have control of your power. Look, your home is your sanctuary, so secure your home and get the peace of mind you deserve with a Generac automatic standby generator from the #1 Generac dealer in the nation. That's Generator Supercenter. They've got turnkey solutions and easy financing options. Call today for a free estimate. 239-887-6090. That's 887-6090.
Sometimes in business, the unexpected comes calling. From rent increases to increased orders to, I'm gonna say it, unprecedented times. But don't bounce back. Bounce forward with Comcast Business. Bounce forward fast with internet speeds up to a gig, with the flexibility to update your bandwidth in just a few clicks, and with security solutions that help keep your connected devices protected. Be fast, be flexible, be ready for what's next, and bounce forward with Comcast Business. Help your business to bounce forward with this amazing offer. Get a powerful and reliable internet and voice solution from Comcast Business, starting at $35 each a month for 24 months for 2 years when you buy both. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go to ComcastBusiness.com today to find out more. Offer ends 12/21/2020. Restrictions apply. Limited to new Comcast Business 35 megabits per second internet and one voice mobility customers. Early termination fee applies. Enrollment in EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment installation, taxes, and fees extra, subject to change.
Shouldn't you feel amazing? Hello, this is Dr. Heiler in Naples from the Feel Amazing Institute. If you suffer from chronic knee pain, back pain, or neuropathy, I have solutions for you. Regenerative medicine and stem cell treatment options that are now approved and often paid for by Medicare. Call my office for a free telephone consultation at 239-330-1000. That's 330-1000. This is Dr. Heiler, board-certified chiropractic neurologist. My office combines regenerative medicine, chiropractic, and neurology to help you feel amazing again. Knee pain, back pain, and neuropathy, I have affordable and Medicare-friendly solutions for you. I only do 5 free consultations per week, so please call right away. 239-330-1000. Also at feelamazing.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. We all count on our home's electrical outlets to provide us the power we need when we need it. But sometimes an overloaded circuit can lead to a blown outlet. So leave it to the pros at Mr. Sparky. We'll get it done right and get it done safely. Call now for $70 off any electrical repair.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888.
Limitations and restrictions may apply. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana. Galliana Kia.
Year-end sales event at Galliana Kia in Fort Myers. Everything goes, nothing held back. 2021 Kia Forte LXS lease, just $99 per month. That's right, a new Kia Forte for $99 per month. 2021 Kia Sportage LX lease, $149 per month. Yes, a new Kia Sportage SUV for $149 per month. Select models with interest-free financing for 75 months. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. At Galliana Kia in Fort Myers, if you've got $500 down and you make at least $2,000 per month, our lenders can get you approved. Galliana Kia, 1/2 mile south of Daniels Parkway on US 41 in Fort Myers. Open every day, including Sunday. Call 239-481-2600. GallianaCars.com.
You should be driving a Kia from Galliana. Galliana Kia.
36-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, $34.99 due at signing plus tax, title, dealer, and acquisition fee. 0 security deposit with lender approval, $13.33 per month per thousand borrowed for 75 months at 0 APR with 0 down. Offers don't comply. Expires month end.
Duncan's Diamonds invites you to our greatest Christmas sale ever. With Christmas just around the corner, everything in the entire store is specially priced right now with tremendous savings. Christmas will be here before you know it, so now's the time to buy everything from diamonds to the most fashionable jewelry at unbeatable prices. We guarantee you will be amazed and find great gifts for everyone on your list. This Christmas sale at Duncan's Diamonds is the largest ever. Now's the time to save. Come see us. You can enjoy Duncan's Diamonds layaway or save with fantastic holiday financing plans. People come from all over because we will not be undersold by anyone, anywhere. It's definitely worth the drive to Duncan's Diamonds. Save during this huge Christmas sale. Duncan's Diamonds for the best prices on diamonds and fine jewelry. We work very hard to make you happy because we believe in love. Come see us.
Duncan's Diamonds, US 41, Gulf Coast Town Center, and Naples at Mercado.
Hi, I'm Roger Lawley with the If I Can Dream Foundation. Somewhere in my memory, we could be able to disagree and still get along. We would pray before we eat, we respected the sitting president, and we loved our neighbor. We smiled to make someone's day without being hidden behind a mask. Somewhere in my memory, we would always play fair in honor of the game. My hope for us all is that we can remember these values and get back to what's really important in life. Faith, family, honor, and love will follow. From ours to yours, Merry Christmas.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Cathedral Roofing Innovations, the tile roof experts in Southwest Florida. They have an important message for anyone who has had these 3 things happen. Now, if you answer yes to all 3, you have to call Cathedral Roofing Innovations today. 1, did you file any roof damage claim to your insurance company in the last 3 years? 2, do you have a tile roof? 3, did your insurance company deny your claim and only pay for a small repair? Look, I know thousands of you listened and answered yes to all 3 questions. Now, even if your claim was denied, there are still ways to get your new tile roof. Do not let the opportunity to increase the value of your home go by. In some cases, we're talking about $75,000 to $100,000. It's not too late. Now, all you have to do is contact Cathedral Roofing Innovations. Just go to cathedralroofingnaples.com right now to start increasing the value of your home. That's cathedralroofingnaples.com.
License number CCC 1331928.
This Wink News update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Now, this is a Wink News update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. An 86-year-old woman is dead after a golf cart crash on US 41 in North Fort Myers. Troopers say the golf cart drove into the path of another vehicle. FHP says the driver in the car was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. A dog was also in the golf cart. Troopers don't believe that dog was hurt. 100,000 doses of the coronavirus vaccine for 5 Florida hospitals delivered this morning. 60,000 more will head to CVS and Walgreens for long-term care facilities. Lee Health says they expect to get the vaccine next week. They'll give it to staff in the emergency department, COVID units, and the ICU first. NCH and Fawcett Memorial say they're still waiting to hear when they will receive the vaccine. NCH healthcare system is limiting visitation hours. In general and critical care units, visiting hours are now from noon to 6 p.m. All visitors must complete a screening process, and a face mask is also required. Terrell Middleton is expected to be in court today. Fort Myers police say he was with a Travis Stanberry picking up marijuana at the Retreat at Vista Lakes apartment complex late last month when Stanberry shot someone in the neck. Their car crashed into a building. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News traffic.
A few areas around Southwest Florida really packed right now. Colonial Boulevard, one of those areas. If you're heading out of Lehigh Acres towards I-75, we are at a creeping crawl. Also congestion on Daniels Parkway, heading west of Gateway all the way to the interstate. We're packed as well, heading out of the Cape on the Midpoint Bridge into Fort Myers. And very slow traffic on McGregor Boulevard, starting north of Winkler Road to Colonial. If you're making that northbound commute, the fastest way around this is Summerlin Road. The Trip to the Minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For your Tuesday, we're going to be starting with some patchy fog that eventually wraps up. We'll see a combination of clouds and sunshine, 78 degrees for the high temperature. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
When your liberal relatives from up north come for a month, turn up 92.5 Fox News in the house, in the car, and on the radio at the beach. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Steven Tomatoes Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
It's Big Al from Stevie Tomato Sports Page. Do you feel American pride and want to shout, God bless America? As a son of immigrants who came through Ellis Island, I stand when the national anthem plays and get emotional thinking of those who have sacrificed for America's greatness. At Stevie's, we're filled with gratitude for our great customers and the country we live in. The firemen, police, emergency service, construction workers, and those who go about each day providing the foundation for our country. We love our customers and express our gratitude with our food, service, and value. Thankful for your dedication for what you do. And to all our great customers, show your love for this great country by going to any Stevie's. Stand at the bar and say loud and clear for all to hear, God bless America, and I'll buy you a 10-ounce beer. Restrictions apply in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. God bless America.
Steven Tomatoes Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
No matter what the holidays look like this year, give your family the gift of fun and memories with a new RV from La Mesa RV. A new Mercedes-powered Integra Quest motorhome, number 040595, is discounted over $41,000. Your holiday adventure begins at La Mesa RV, I-75 at Luckett Road in Fort Myers, or lamesarv.com. All advertised prices plus tax tag title and $9.95 dealer fee. Offer expires day of ad.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Typically, we do the top 5 audio clips of the day right now, the 5 at 8:35. But I've got Steve Deace on the line, so I'm got to go to Steve because there's so much to talk about today. Rather than hear audio clips, I would like to hear Steve live tell us his thoughts on things that are happening right now currently in the news cycle. His new book is A Nefarious Carol. It is amazing. I'm telling you right now, it is the sequel to the 2016 book, A Nefarious Plot. And both I would encourage you to get right now, especially when, as I described it, it's something that is tangible. It will hit you. It'll hit you hard, but boy, it will make you think. You will realize some of the things that are going on right now in society, and certainly how that affects us and spiritually. And it's an amazing read. So I'm so happy that Steve's staying with us because I want to get his perspective on. Well, let's start with this, Steve Deace. Let's start with Attorney General Barr. Thoughts?
Fraud. Should have been forced to resign months ago. Has done really nothing. Since he compelled Mueller to come forward and show his hand in March of 2019, he's done nothing. He has done nothing. The Durham investigation got put off until the end, until after the election. I don't really care. I know I'm going to break with a lot of my conservative media brethren, but I'm used to doing that, so I'm okay with it. But I don't care about appointing an independent counsel on Hunter Biden. I don't view that as some kind of win. Independent counsels can be fired by presidents. Joe could just fire that guy on January 21st, and the entire media is just going to cover for him. So the last straw for me was we found out this week that he has known for quite some time that the feds were investigating Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
And he kept quiet about that. Now let's go back to the impeachment of earlier this year. Right. Actually, it was March of 2018, I think, or no, it was 2019 when Mueller came forward. Let's go back to the impeachment earlier this year. Let's say Donald Trump is guilty of everything that the Democrats claimed was worthy of impeachment. Here's then what he's guilty of. He's guilty of saying to the Ukrainians, I want evidence of wrongdoing that we know now is confirmed Hunter Biden is actually suspected of. That's what they impeached him over. Right? We want evidence on your end of wrongdoing that we now have been investigating domestically already anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing is preposterous, and yet he knew about the laptop. He knew that this investigation was going on, said nothing. Earlier this year, or right before the election, when the stories came out again about Hunter Biden, a bunch of us are getting shadow banned, deplatformed. The New York Post, the fourth oldest newspaper in the country, started by Alexander Hamilton himself. They're getting flat out banned.
Right.
And yet he said nothing. We're holding hearings, Drew, in the Senate, where Jack and Zuckerberg are being held under oath and questioned by U.S. senators. What are your grounds for banning these media outlets for reporting the Hunter Biden story? And the Attorney General of the United States knows the entire time that there is at least prima facie evidence for wrongdoing by Hunter Biden. Otherwise, they wouldn't have opened up an investigation against him. And he said nothing the entire time. I don't care that he took a cold drink of water and face planted the moron Adam Schiff. I don't care that he plays the bagpipes. I don't give a rip about that. Mm-hmm. I want Julie Swetnick in prison. I want people who tried to character assassinate Brett Kavanaugh in prison. I want people who violated national security clearances on CNN every night and attempted a 3-year coup. I want them in prison. I want to know who the hell killed Jeffrey Epstein. Don't know that. Okay. But if I can't get any of those things from a GOP attorney general, when conservative media is being banned for speaking out about a case that you are actually investigating, could you be bothered to send a tweet or a press release just so everybody knows Hunter Biden is under investigation? We haven't concluded that investigation. We don't know that he's guilty of anything, but it is true that he is under investigation. Could we have at least gotten that? And we got nothing.
Yeah. And I guess, you have the other side that are saying things like, oh, that's the Department of Justice policy. He's not going to get involved in the election. This is somebody that didn't want to be someone that it was going to change or do anything to affect the outcome of the election, that all of these things were happening behind the scenes. But I guess when you hear people saying things like that, nothing came to fruition. Nothing has come to fruition about any of the things he's investigated. And that's been part of the big problem that many people have is when are we going to see people that, like you said, convicted and you're going to see people prosecuted. And the thing is that we didn't see any of that. So to your point, does that make enough of a case for people to look and say, this... Is there something more that we need to know? I mean, is there a concern that Attorney General Barr maybe was kind of being helpful considering his past to maybe allow some of the swamp to linger post-election, knowing full well he wasn't going to last past January 20th anyway?
Here's what a lack of transparency provides. Opportunities to ask a lot of uncomfortable questions and unsettling questions.
True.
That there might be innocent or just, human frailty answers to explain. But when you don't, I used to say during the Obama years, Drew, that when you continue to do things that we know aren't successful, and now we're sitting here in the middle of Obama's presidency and we have more people on food stamps than the total population of Spain, okay? So when you continue to pursue policies that in real time we can see are not successful, you leave people only two options. You're just this dumb, or this is the Cloward Piven plan. You're doing this. You're crushing systems on purpose. You give me no option other than dumb or sinister. The same thing applies now here in this era with the lack of transparency. When you are not transparent with me, you leave me options to figure out why, and almost none of them are going to be good.
Right. Yeah, no, it's a great point. Steve Deace joining us on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. Please, A Nefarious Carol, get this book. Get it now. It's there at Amazon, Amazon.com. Go visit and get the book. You will be glad you did, especially now with everything that is going on. It's powerful. You're going to want to have this right now, especially during this holiday season. Believe me, and certainly the things that are going on around the country. The electors, the Republican electors in 4 states casting procedural votes for the president and vice president. What do you make of this and the angle that, hey, listen, we've done this before. Hey, we've had electors, dueling electors before. We've had this happening, and that maybe there is something here that we can look at and say, this is, if you're talking about the Constitution, you're talking about the integrity of the vote. Let's remember that's first and foremost, beyond individuals, that this is a path. Do you look at it that way?
I think you have to separate, which we don't do very well these days. We like to conflate things. I think you have to separate what you think of the merit of the claim with the process by which they are making the claim. Okay?
Sure.
Those are two totally different systems. So you asked me about the process by which they're making the claim.
Right.
It just goes to show what happens when you allow the spirit of the age to overtake your education system, your media, and your pop culture. That now we assume that the entire governing process in America is done to ratify conventional wisdoms and statist inclinations, as opposed to the fact these things were all created by the founders as a means by which for us to challenge them, for us to have layers and layers and layers of challenges, for us to have layers and layers of checks and balances, for us to have layers and layers and layers of abilities, for us to have our grievances heard, because they assumed two things of history. One, they assumed government would not be inclined to naturally want to hear them. After all, that's why they had to fight a revolution, right?
Right.
And then the other thing they saw in history was too often civilizations decide these things with bloodshed, and they didn't want that. So can we create a mechanism by which, I'm a big hockey fan. Why do they allow fighting in hockey? And people always say because for the ratings. Well, that may be true nowadays. That wasn't true in the original 6 days when nobody watched on TV. All right. The reason they allowed fighting in hockey is because these are grown men with high testosterone levels and that are in a high aggression environment. And with them, they are carrying a felonious weapon called a sharpened hockey stick. And if they feel like they've been wronged or they lose their tempers, they could lose their bearings and wield that stick as a weapon. Fighting was put in as a means for them to exercise that testosterone, to get it out of their system so that they wouldn't use those sticks as something that could be far more dangerous than a broken jaw, right?
Right.
That's what our founders meant for our election system, Drew. This is where we fight the civil wars. So we don't fight in the streets. We fight them here, and we do it every 2, 4, or 6 years, depending on the office. And then when it's over, there's a defined winner. We're confident in the system. We may not like the result, but we are incentivized to simmer down now, go back to your way of life, live the best life you can for the time period you have, and next election, fight it out again. This worked pretty well, despite social upheavals and things of that nature. Post-Civil War, post-Reconstruction, this process worked pretty well here for about the last 140, 50 years. But now we're in a system where there is a spirit of the age that has established a beachhead on the American left, that it doesn't want to just control the system anymore. It wants to overturn it. Right. These are stained glass window smashers. These are deconstructionists, and they are, I believe, on purpose. After they spent 4 years parading Stacey Abrams around as the rightful governor of Georgia, losing by over 50,000 votes, a larger margin than most of these states that are being contested, they made her one of the finalists to be Joe Biden's running mate. And he's up there yesterday lecturing us about attacking the system. So they did this for the last 4 years because I think they're perfectly fine now wrecking the system. Yeah. It's why you turn on your TV, it's a sporting event. You can watch Disney Channel. You can't watch anything anymore without the culture war right in front of your face. These are Jehovah's Witnesses times Lyndon LaRouche supporters to the 14th power. All right. They want to overturn your way of life. They have no intention of accommodating you. They will not find a place for common ground. They want to erode the ground you stand on. Right. And I think that's where we're all so very frustrated is, so now you're telling me the courts won't hear my cases. Now you're telling me I don't know how we count the votes. I can't observe how we count the votes. I don't know how we would possibly just trust you when you've been lying to me about how many other things over the years. And we can just all mail in a ballot, and who knows, in a New York State, they can find 52 ballots the month after the election and say, oh, man, we forgot these. All right. Yeah. My fear is, Drew, that because they're taking away all the legitimate means for us to fight this thing out, that we're going to start using our sticks, if you get my analogy. That is my fear, Drew.
Right. No, I see that. I mean, that's the frustration that, the process, like you described, the layers and layers, we're going through the layers. Ultimately, we want to get through the layers, and there's one side, and you know which side it is, that wants to use the Constitution and the rule of law as the beginning, middle, and end, and that this is going to end this way, and they're not going to do anything more than that. And there's another side who could care less about that and is willing to destroy and tear down and threaten and dox and do all of these things to get the things that they want, because clearly they're not winning in the arena of ideas. It's the only way that they can get it. And so
what should have happened last week is the Supreme Court should have said, it specifically says in the Constitution, the court is there to hear grievances between states like this.
Right.
The court should have said, we will hear the complaint. We'll have a hearing, and we're going to televise it. We don't ever televise Supreme Court hearings, but this is a year where we've done a lot of things we don't ever do before, like mail-in voting, because there's special circumstances, right? Because of this one, though, and the likelihood that mail-in voting on some levels never going away now. We need to see, the American people need to see us address this in a collegial, professional, transparent manner. We will hear the Texas case. There'll be a hearing on Monday. The attorney generals in the 4 states in question have this many days in order to prepare for making arguments before the court. We'll have an emergency hearing Monday, televise it on C-SPAN, every channel, unfiltered. Everybody's going to hear. Let's find out what arguments Texas has. Let's find out if Ken Paxton is just politically posturing because he's facing an ethics scandal, as some people have claimed. Let's find out if if these ballots were just dropped off at 4 a.m. in Fulton County and Wayne County, Michigan, and Fulton County, Georgia, because the people there are stupid and don't know how to mail things properly and timely, or if there was a more nefarious means. Why don't we find out? That is another frustration feeding my anxiety, is there just seems to be a lot of people these days that when the truth is available to them, just don't even care to know what it is. Just don't even care to know. I mean, the Nevada GOP listed very specific itemizations of how many people voted twice in that state, how many people out of state voted. Those might all be lies. If they filed those affidavits to the courts and they're all lies, put them all in jail for contempt of court, I'm fine with it.
Yep.
But don't we want to know?
Yeah.
Don't we want to know what the answer is? And that is my great frustration. It's like, Jesus says, I stand at the door and knock. Someone is pounding on the door right now, and we're all like the movie Idiocracy. Leave me alone, I'm baiting. Okay, I mean, it's just, that's what freaking bothers me, okay?
No, I get it. And, maybe to finish out, you bring up the collegial professional way of going about it. You've got to have two sides that believe in the collegial professional way. If you have one that doesn't believe in it, then that's part of the frustration as well. The path that you want to take is that professional collegial way. And the other side is like, forget you. We're gonna tear everything down and destroy it because we're not gonna accept the answer unless it's ours. And that's part of the fear. So where do we go next? Well, where you should go next is to Amazon and pick up Steve Deace's new book, A Nefarious Carol. You will be so happy that you did. It's powerful. Like I said, it's tangible. You will understand what that means when you read it. The sequel to the 2016 book, A Nefarious Plot. Please do that right now. Go to Amazon, pick up the book, A Nefarious Carol. Steve Deace, and of course, you can certainly follow him, Steve Deace Show, on Twitter, or even go to Blaze TV and check out his show there as well. He is the best. All right, Steve, listen, I appreciate you joining us. Merry Christmas, my friend, and thanks for hanging out long with us. I do appreciate you so much.
You bet, man. You same to you, and appreciate the book plugs as well. Everybody have a great Christmas, and God bless. Take care.
All right, God bless, my friend. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592. I'm sure texts will continue to come in. A lot of people have been texting and messaging and certainly watching. They're on YouTube anytime you want to watch for the time being as it keeps going. And Facebook at Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. All right, let's find out what's happening with the remainder of the forecast with Wink News meteorologist Matt Devitt.
Monday morning, we're going to be waking up to some patchy fog, then just a few spotty showers for this afternoon and this evening. High temperature 4